Hello, everyone. Welcome. Uh, my co-host is either not here or he forgot to switch his camera back.
Oh, I did forget to switch my camera back. Hold on.
And my camera fell apart. So I apologize. You'll have to deal with my hideous avatar. Awesome One is here. Welcome. He says, clean my floors. They're bloody. Joke's on you. I never kill where I sleep. That's someone else's house. Felix, please show your disapproval of Allie subjecting her mind to the degeneracy of this gay vampire show by backing Dean's campaign. Indeed, go back the embrace too. Make his little Australian dreams come true.
His little Australian dreams.
Yeah. Felix says it's wholesome, family-friendly graphic novel. True, it is like literally the opposite of the show that we are talking about tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
In every way, including in the fact that it's good and the show is terrible. Thanks, Felix, for showing off my website. Please go check it out. I add stuff all the time. Books and everything. Very cool. Awesome One. No, come back. I don't know what that is. I don't know what Culture Casino is, but have fun, I guess. Tia, our fan, is here. She's very excited about the new thumbnail that I made 20 minutes ago. Because I wait until the last minute. Yes, she is our fan. We have a 1, so I'm going to say we made it. That's how you know. She's an apologist for us. It's very nice of her. Let's see. Awesome One can't stop the gay. That's true. Bold Cat Studios. Hail and welcome. Cancel this atrocity. Atrocity? Well, indeed, it should be canceled. And yet, it shan't. Because they have already approved it for not only a season 3, but also 2 more spin-off shows. That we will not be watching, probably. No offense to the lovely chat and the lovely fans, but we don't really feel like we need to because there's not much else to say. But also, they're just so bad. Like, it's a waste of time. It really is. Like, these shows are a waste of time. I think we're just going to finish season 2 and move on. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it ends, but yeah, I think that's where we're leaning.
Although they did say that season 3 is supposed to be the real Lestat. So might have to contest that one. Oh, he's an old man that talks about pop culture and everyone memes him to death. All right, well, that's a shame. What are you scared of, Awesome One? Are you scared of how terrible it is?
Tell if you do go back over there for a minute, or if you got both of us playing, tell Culture Dark If said hi.
And tell him I don't know who he is. So, congratulations. I don't know. I'm editing out my notes. What are you up to, Anthony? How are you doing?
Oh, not much. I was working all weekend, and then I had a little meeting with Doc earlier. We're we're going to be going into fulfillment soon. Starting this week, we'll be ordering like the trading cards and the mugs and all that stuff. And then once I finish lettering, we'll put the books in print.
There you go.
Yeah, and we'll be keeping it open, but if you want to get in, yeah, go check out A Damn Dirty Thing over on Fund My Comic.
What the heck are my notes? Oh, there it is. go check out his comic friends. I have a note in here that says, "Awesome one's idea: egg beater cookbook and a rap soundtrack." See, I listen to you guys. I write stuff down.
Oh, that camera. I just dropped another link. I found it even cheaper.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Still brand new. It's like $8 with $6
cool.
shipping. Yeah.
Thank you. X Dream. Hello, X Dream. I really appreciate the avatar. I believe that is a Dream from the like the manga, or not manga. It's like a Japanese artist drew like a Sandman novel that's really sweet, like a love story. I appreciate that. Very cool. Have you seen the Sandman show? Because I ripped that apart too. Oh, goodbye, Anthony. He said, I was actually thinking you wouldn't finish season 2 and was okay with that, knowing you are sparing yourself the agony of this show. Well, we promised we'd do it, so we are. Doc Blaylock's A Damn Dirty Thing. Yes, and thank you to Doc Blaylock as well for introducing me to a cool dude that has hired me to edit his books, which is pretty sick. Wow, you put that in a note. Wow, yeah. Yeah, Stream Hunters, thank you. I always forget his name. Go back, Anthony. Anyway, let's get into this, shall we? Now that we've done our stuff. Let's open it up. Season 2, episode 4.
Yeah, what are we doing? 4 and 5? Yeah, the reason why we've been so late, Extreme, is because of my work schedule has been crazy. So I apologize. So we'll be doing twofers.
Yeah, we'll do 4 and 5, and then I think 6 and 7, and then we'll do 8 all by itself, because I'm sure it will be a lot.
For an exclusive look inside the episode.
All right. Let's see. My first thing here. Episode 11, because they're counting from the first movie. I want you more than anything in the world. They claim that they use like a line from the book for the name of every episode. And I think they do that just so they can say, look, see, we read the books. We are fans.
Yeah, I feel like they just opened the page, like they open up the book to any page and just look down and say, oh, that sounds cool. Let's use that.
Yeah. Because it's so random. It's like, this could even not be a line from the book, you know? Like, okay, that's just a thing people say, you know?
Yeah, I don't really remember that line. It's not like one of those like prolific lines, you know what I mean? From that like people know, you know.
It's not like page 2 where it says the vampire was as pale as bleached bone.
Which they totally missed that part, apparently.
Just putting that out there. Alright. Oh, cool. I can skip like that. Playful classical music. That's funny. Let's see. 156 is my first thing here. What happens? Oh yeah, alright. So it's Claudia's first play. My baby loves the window, I think. Finette. I think that's what that is. It's like my baby loves to fly or my baby loves the window. I can't remember. But it's a really stupid play. Can you see it? Is it up? Yeah, okay. Yes, it was Avaricus Peverell. Interesting. That's your Harry Potter name. You're fine, Tia. Welcome back. It was. So yeah, this is Claudia's first play. She's been accepted into the thing. Wait a second. Hold on. Are you sure it wasn't 5 and 6 instead of 4 and 5? I think it was 5 and 6, and we already did episode 4.
I'd have to go back and look at your YouTube, but
It is!
So.
Whoopsie dude. No, it is. It is. Yeah. Because the one... Sorry, everyone. I'll change the thumbnail later. Because that one is the one where Armand is like, touch me! And then... Yeah. The one we're supposed to be talking about. Sorry, everyone.
No, you're right, because the last one we did was episodes 2 and 3.
No, we did episode 4.
No, I'm looking at your YouTube right now. We did 1 and 2, and then we did episode 3. And then you did Allie, world building. Then
Oh wait, did we watch ahead one in preparation for the next time?
Maybe.
Okay. Sorry. Let me go back. I apologize. See, the problem with this show is that you forget it as soon as it's done.
As soon as you're done watching it, yeah.
Except for the parts that are outrageous, it's just goes away in your head. It's not like the movie where you're like, wow, that was so amazing. I have a favorite thing that happens in every scene, you know? This one just stuff happens and you're like, wow, that sucked, and then your brain just turns it off forever.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's Claudia's first play, and she has to play a little girl. Which bothers her, but she does it anyway because she's trying to fit in. Which again is not a thing that happened in the book, obviously. Then we got old man Spike over here.
This is just the preview, right?
It is.
Of what came before. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. There's a stupid opening where it goes brah.
Yeah, it makes the most hideous noise. They don't even do a theme song. It's just like.
And I saw people on Twitter, bots, plots, and thoughts, talking about how the score is brilliant, and I was like, really?
It says music intensifies. It's not even music. It's just a sound effect.
Yeah. It's not even a gong. It's just they press the weird key on their keyboard and it goes brrrr.
I know you guys have probably heard us say this 100 times already, but it's god awful.
Yeah.
Throw a little bit of maybe an orchestra warming up or something, and then the hideous noise. I you know what I mean?
It's just not beautiful. And for someone whose favorite word was aesthetics, you would think that, they would honor that. But no.
America says Claudia's makeup and dress looked ridiculous. Yes, it made the actress look older than she already is, and she's already old.
Yeah.
And I feel like they poorly attempted to style Santiago after the Lost Boys. You might be right on that one.
Lost Boys. The intro sounds like a scratch on a record player. It's actually worse. It sounds like... So, my mama, when she was a baby, she got... She had ear infections, right? And the doctor thought that in order to get rid of her ear infections, they would need to stab her eardrums and drain out the bad fluid. Okay? And that's what I think it sounds like. It sounds like when a doctor stabbed my mama's eardrums out to drain the bad fluid and made her deaf for the rest of her life.
They're doing the same thing with the Immortal Universe little thing where the Iron Gate's supposed to be growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just another hideous noise. It's I I feel like they're taking like a cello and like hitting a sour note and then running it through like a filter over a filter over a filter until it sounds like somebody's intestines like making weird noises. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
I don't know either. Yes, I did, Billy, and I'd do it again. Yeah. They really needed to do something like the opening song for Angel, because that is still a beautiful song. I will watch the opening song for Angel every time I rewatch it instead of skipping it because it's so pretty.
It is a good song.
They needed to do that. Instead, they just do this freaking burp. Like, it's just a burp. There's no... Anyway. Yeah. So, it is her first show. Blah, blah, blah.
Extreme. The truth is they recorded the actual sound of a gay vampire farting. And threw the bass up and slowed it down.
Yeah, that's actually possible. I mean, if a band can record the sound of like a cat, growling, then why not a gay vampire farting? Hail Snafu, welcome.
What's up, Snafu?
Unfortunately, yes, and it has been renewed for season 3 and more I almost said rip-offs. More spin-offs. Yeah. So she sings a stupid song called I Don't Like Windows When They're Closed, because her play is about like a snotty little girl that in like Victorian times that like falls out of a window. But she like tortures her nanny first or something. I don't know. I don't remember. It was dumb. But here's their brilliant like costume design. That I do not understand.
She looks like one of those people that likes to dress up as babies as a fetish.
She does. She really does. And supposedly they gave her the part because she earned her way on stage, but also because she looks so young, and so now she has to play a child for 50 years. But, like, she obviously doesn't look young. It just punctuates for us, the viewer, how not young she looks.
She looks like an old woman dressing up as a baby as a fetish. That's what she looks like.
Yeah.
Those diaper people.
Yeah, the diaper people. Like, this is... I feel like I'm watching someone's TikTok. Like, that's how it feels. Like, now she's doing a TikTok dance. You know? Oohs and ahs from the audience. Yeah, sure. Let's see. The next one is... They talk about whether she liked it or not. Like, whether she liked playing it. I don't really remember, but that's what I wrote down. They disagree on whether Claudia liked the play. So that's probably what was happening. They, like, have an argument about it. And then the characters, like, whine at each other. Oh, yeah, her name is Baby Lou. Where does the part start where I said it was a Guar concert?
Oh, is that when they have the spirally umbrellas? Like, every person in the audience? You just passed it.
Yeah. So... There we go. Yeah. So they kind of tried to style it like it was a Guar concert or a Rocky Horror Picture Show, like performance, like, where there's audience like participation.
Yeah, the audience dresses up like the cast And then they all happen to have the same umbrella, which I think is kind of hard to do in 1940 to mass produce the same umbrella.
Yeah, well, it's 1947, I think, now. Because the war is over for a few years. 47 or 48. Maybe even 49. I don't know. Either way, it's not where it should be. So, who cares? But yeah, like, all this blood sprays everywhere, and they're like, "Ah!" Like, the audience is all stupid. It's really terrible.
Yeah, I remember I was like, are they trying to pull a Rocky Horror Picture Show right now? Like, are they all dressed up like the cast?
Yeah. Oh, and that's her dying. And then they're like, oh, it was so amazing. It was so good. Oh, you know what? This is a different website, so the timestamps might be wrong, but whatever. It's close enough. I really hate this guy. Like, I know you say he's not a bad actor, but he bothers me because partially he's just too old to be Santiago, and he's ugly. He's the only one who seems like he's trying or having any fun with it, but he just bothers me. Like, he rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. I mean, he's not right. He's not right for the part, and he
and look, like, what is? I hate this song. Like, I hate my mortal father. Like, okay, so you have daddy issues. Like, congratulations. You're like every other gay person. Just way to go.
I mean, to be fair, that's the writer. That's not him. But he is. I mean, like, out of all the actors on the show, him and the guy that plays Daniel are probably the best two actors on the show. Like, if you had to rank the actors on the show.
Yeah. Hey, welcome, LDG. How's it going?
Hey, LDG.
Welcome, some person. Yeah, super good. You didn't miss it. I know. It's like the best part of your month. Let's see. I have to adjust this. Let's see. Oh, I think they say something about, like, giving vampire head as well. Yeah, this is... No, they don't say it. She's doing it.
Oh, right. I remember that now, yeah.
It's, like, in here somewhere. She's straight up, like... There it is. She was doing that while he's, like, sitting there. And it was like, really?
Just talking, yeah. He was just talking to somebody, and then he just gets up and walks away. And, like, she gets up and wipes her mouth.
And it's like, why?
Like, he didn't even flinch. Like, did he even finish? Like, so many questions.
So many questions I don't want to have answered, like, actually.
Did he get bored? And he was just like, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm out, you know? Like,
was she just, like, sucking blood out of it like a straw? Like, what? What is this? It's so dumb.
At least it wasn't gay vampires.
That's true. It wasn't, and you can't really see anything. It's like conjecture. I guess she could have been mopping the floor or something.
I believe that was the one good thing we tried to find was like, hey, it had a hetero scene.
Yeah, woo!
Yay, hetero vampire.
Yahoo! Golly gee galoshes. So yeah, and there's all these old people, including this man dressed like Claudia.
Oh, I never realized that was a dude. That is a dude.
That is a dude front and center. Gotta make sure.
No.
In 1948 Paris, that there's a freaking crossdresser dressed like a female child.
Well, if it wasn't gonna be San Francisco, it might as well be Paris.
Yeah, for real. Hello, what's up? Do you want to play a game? Thanks for joining us, and I'm sorry in advance. But yeah, it's obviously a man in a wig. Like, they're all wearing a wig, but this is a man.
Yeah.
just sitting there with like a raincoat and like these obviously fake outfits. Like these aren't homemade. Like what? Whatever. Anyway,
they had to put the cosplay in there. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. This is like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. And her thing, I don't know. They started talking about like, I don't know. They go over what her play is, I guess. And she gets in trouble because she doesn't like it. And the writer, I think, the writer's kind of funny. He's the one that made the joke at the beginning that you liked.
Yeah,
about the Jews or something, or Germans. It was like something about gas chambers, and he's like, "That sounds too German" or something.
Because she was talking about the incinerators. Because he was teaching her about the rat box.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, back home we just use an incinerator." He's like, "How is that?" He's like, just throw them in and watch them burn." He's like, "Sounds a little too German for me."
Yeah, the guy who writes the plays is that guy, and he has some okay one-liners. It is like a bad version of a 90s music video, or it's like they watched Queen of the Damned, the movie, with, I guess the only movie with Aaliyah. Aaliyah? No. Is it Aaliyah?
Yes.
Okay. And they did those, like, you know how they made music videos for Lestat's band for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like they tried to do that, but like in color on a stage. I don't know what they were doing. It's stupid. But they're still going over her diary. But the writer says something about a popcorn bag and a prophylactic. And I thought that was funny. And they make her wear the costume all the time. Because she doesn't like performing in it. So they make her wear it constantly. So she like stinks. Like she has to wear it at home and when she's just like walking around and stuff as her like punishment or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume typically vampires wouldn't smell because they wouldn't have body odor, but I mean, these vampires eat, fuck,
and smoke, and they're basically humans because they can be awake during the day and have.
Yeah.
There's nothing vampiric about them whatsoever except maybe their eyes.
And even that just looks like bad cosplay.
Yeah, it's just like contacts, you know. They don't even always have fangs because they do the like shing when their fangs go shloop. Angel Sashi is being ironic, hopefully, saying it's awesome and the acting is superb. Sure. And they fart to record intro music, for real. Can you hold it down really quick? I've got to let my dog out. He is like freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, they do give the writer of the plays, the guy who played, like the one who's like the playwright for all these things, some funny one-liners because like at the end, like when she's complaining, he's like, "What did you do?" They turn around to him like they're telling her, like, "Listen, we all do what we have to do to make this successful," and he says, "What did you do?" It's like, "I was cleaning the island. What did you find?" "Popcorn and an empty a used prophylactic." And he actually holds it up. It's like he's like holding a used condom. And it was kind of funny, but at the same time, it was like, oh, jeez. Like, come on. But at least they, listen, we try to find, like, something good in these things. We've got to sit through them and, like, torture ourselves, for Christ's sake. But it was just like, oh, yeah, because people were just fucking in the audience, apparently, because that's what you do when you go to a play. You fuck in the audience. I don't know. Like, I have a pretty high tolerance for degeneracy, but it's got to make sense, And some person is saying, like and subscribe, please. And you guys should. You should like this video. Subscribe to Ali. Go over and subscribe to me over at Dark Gift Comics Presents. Dark Gift being one word. And it is a nod to the Vampire Chronicles. So the real Vampire Chronicles, not this crazy nonsense. She looks so bad in that dress. It's like they put on a kid's costume on a full-grown adult. That's what they did. She looks like one of those people that likes to like dress up as a baby and wear diapers while another grown adult pretends to be the mother. It's insane. It's god-awful. And the woman's clearly in her 30s, and they put her in this, and she looks like she's in her 40s. I don't know how that is even possible. It looks like it smells. I think they call that age play. It's like, yeah, it's a fetish. Yeah, age play. You're probably right, Avaricus. There's a lot of stuff in this show that's very fetishy. You know? It's like the writers are like letting their stuff seep into their scripts. The way they deter from the books, I wouldn't be surprised that season 3 is a mishmash of Vampire Lestat, Queen of the Damned, but Akasha will be gender bent to be a dude. I get, well, that or they'll just like say she's the one that's still frozen, and they'll and bring back the other dude. So they did mention her in season 2, did they? Of course they did. The best part is I read an article from Collider. It was like season 2 of Interview with a Vampire finally gives us the real Lestat. It's like, oh, so you admit that this is nothing like the books at all. In one of the later episodes, he did mention that he had the blood of Akasha in him. Oh yeah, did he? I don't know if we got to that one yet. You hate the contacts that they use? Yeah, they're really bad. They're like the shit that you get at like fucking Spirit Halloween. And by queen, the dude is a drag queen. Drag queen of the damned. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, Extreme. I wouldn't put it past them. Anything is possible, you know? That's what I'm confused about. Wasn't Nikki the writer of the plays that they still do even after he died? Oh, you might be right, Tia. I'll have to ask Allie. But I guess if they did that, they'd have to give Nikki more of a role, and it'd be very... I guess it's just easier to make him some background character in this. Because, you know, why stay close to the books? Awesome One's back. Says, I hope I missed everything. No, you didn't. We got a little bit in, and then Allie had to go let her dog out, so now I'm just vamping. No pun intended. I think they definitely topped season 1, which is a testament to how good it is. The fact that they took the book and made it new and freaking awesome. I mean, they made it something, all right, Angel. I feel like if they took the book, they went like this, and then they went like that, and said, let's just write something totally new. He threw himself into the fire after mine cut off his hands, leaving Lestat his... Yeah, I remember that part. I don't remember if he was the writer, though. Dark Gift says, anything is possible. And I believe it, because I didn't think a show could be worse than this, and I then saw The Acolyte. Someone asked if this was worse than The Acolyte. I haven't watched The Acolyte. I gave up on Disney after they fired Gina Carano. I was like, you know what? Cancel my Disney Plus. Thank you very much. And, but from what I've seen, I'd say it's got to be at least on par, right? They got to be equal.
I'm back. What's up?
We're just shooting the shit. Colonel Morg joins us. Says, I read the books a very long time ago, but they were super gay fetish time. The TV show is just different super gay fetish time, isn't it? Well, the books weren't super gay fetish time. That's the problem with the show being super gay fetish time. And Angel is really trying to really prop the show up.
Are you a bot, Angel?
And Tia and Avericus bring up a very good point. In the books, Nikki was the one that wrote the plays.
Yes, that's true. But in this one, it's some guy whose name I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they say it or it's in the credits, but I didn't bother to. I don't care.
Yeah, Angel. Yeah, that's you weren't here for my enactment of how they took the book. I'll redo it for you. I said, because she says, I think they definitely topped season 1, which is a testament to how good it is. The fact that they took the book and made it new and freaking awesome, massive props. And I said, well, they definitely took the book, but then they went like that. And then they made something totally new.
And then they pooped all over it. Yeah. Did Nikki have a Strad? I'm not sure he had a Stradivarius. I could be wrong, but I don't think he had a Stradivarius. I don't think they say what it is. I know
Colonel Morg says, didn't Lestat bang everything and everyone, including his own mom? No, they can't bang.
No, they can't fuck.
There's no banging. That's the problem.
She addresses this. Part of their torment is that not only can they not do it anymore, they don't feel the need to. The closest they can come to is when they bite another. I almost said consensually. When they bite another vampire at the same time as the other vampire is biting them, and they do an exchange of blood. That's as close as it comes. When they're turned, all of those organs that they're not going to need anymore get pooped out. They never show that in the movies or anything because it'd be gross. But that's what happens in the books. That's why it's painful. That's why it takes some time. Because all the organs they're not going to need come sloshing out.
Felix goes, which one are y'all gonna... Never mind.
And did you read that?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Colonel Morg, I read the books a very long time ago, but they were super gay fetish time. The TV show is just different super gay fetish time. They're not super gay fetish. That's the thing. They only are if you are looking for that. Interview with the Vampire specifically, and this is where I hate modern culture, because they have totally destroyed the concept of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
each character is based on a person of her own family.
Yeah, she is Louis. And Lestat is her
Stan.
husband. Yes, Lestan. Stan Rice. And Claudia is she didn't realize, she said she didn't realize it at the time, was her daughter who died at very young, very tragically, of cancer. And she wrote it as her like way to therapy, kind of. Yeah. They never fuck. Is what I'm trying to say. They weren't gay. They don't fuck. I've gone over. We've gone over it a million times. You can watch our other things where we talk about it a lot. The TV show is literally just not even the books at all, especially now.
Morg says Anne was a super BDSM freak when she wrote. No, she wasn't.
She was not. Look, I know and have read her her erotica as well.
And even that's not super BDM freaky.
Sleeping Beauty is.
Not really. Come on.
Wow. Then what is super to you? Because maybe I don't want to know. Because damn, wow. They got horse and stuff in there. They got horseplay and all sorts of stuff in there.
Well, that's not BDSM.
What? Okay, I don't want to. Let's not talk about it. we can do.
Bestiality and BDSM are two totally different things.
No, not bestiality. Where they tie up the people and make them be horses.
Oh.
Not doing stuff with horses, you weirdo.
I didn't want to say anything because I only read the book once. I was like, I don't remember them banging horses. What is she talking about?
They don't. They dress them up like horses and make them run around and stuff. And I don't know. Just we can do a stream about her in that way later. But anyway, Acolyte, very funny. Tia is saying Enkill. It is worse than Acolyte. Oh, there are very few shows that are going to be worse than this show, honestly. Didn't Lestat? No. And no, Lestat didn't bang his own mom. So, with Gabrielle, him and his mother are close, but also not close. His mother and him have kind of a strained relationship from the beginning. She only likes him because she favors him more than his brothers and his father, because he's the one who's like intellectual and has, feelings, but is also like strong and wants to leave, and she sees that in him, whereas all his brothers are just and father are just like idiotic brutes. and she feels stuck, which is why she gives him like some of her jewels to sell so that they can go and seek their fortune in Paris. And once she gets to Paris eventually, when he turns her, he says she ceased to become, she ceased to be my mother and she became Gabrielle. That doesn't mean that they fuck each other. It just meant that he no longer saw her as his mother because she was a totally different creature. I mean, she cross-dresses. She tries to look like a man by cutting her hair, but they can't cut their hair. So, because there's no point. It just grows like super fast. So she puts it in a braid. But she's just a new creature now. If you make a book new and detract from the source material, wouldn't that just mean you should write something original? Yes, exactly. And I've said that a lot. If they had just made something new and used different names, this is Jeffrey and this is, friggin', I don't know, Eric.
Whoa.
Then, yeah, then it would have been, oh, this is a bad ripoff of Anne Rice. But, I wouldn't have cared, I wouldn't have said I need to go over this and refute it and preserve Anne Rice's thing. I would have just been like, oh, it's a bad ripoff of Anne Rice. Hey, what's up, Chris? It is. It's too hard and it's not too hard because they're doing a lot of stuff that doesn't happen in the books. So obviously they can write some stuff. It's not good stuff, but they can do it. But what they're doing is they're taking all of these names and co-opting them so that they can get people to watch their stuff.
I wonder if they didn't try to shoehorn like little bits of Anne Rice into this other stuff that they're writing, if it wouldn't be good though. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I mean, maybe we wouldn't like it still, but like maybe it would just be good, you know? Like,
Maybe that's what's holding it back, is that they keep trying to add this in there. Like that's
what I'm saying. Yeah. Maybe it's like holding them back.
It's similar to how I felt about the Amazon's Rings of Power plus Privilege. Like, I mean, just made a fantasy show.
Like Daniel
done that, it wouldn't have been terrible.
Daniel, like, I like the character they wrote. I just don't like him as Daniel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not Daniel.
Right. It's like it's like when Axl Rose came out with Chinese Democracy, he called it Guns N' Roses Chinese Democracy. It bombed. But if he just called it an Axl Rose solo album, it probably it's up there. It's one of the best like rock and roll albums of that decade, like the early 2000s. But you would never know it because no one wants to give it a chance because he slapped Guns N' Roses on it, and he's the only motherfucker from Guns N' Roses in the band. You know what I mean? So it's like I
didn't even know that. So
yeah, you shoehorn something into something and it holds it back. Right? You try to make this interview with a vampire and it just becomes a fucking laughing stock. But you call it something else, and you don't allow these little things to like get in the way. Boom! You probably got a good show. I mean, Daniel's a good character. The dude who plays Santiago is a good actor. And if this wasn't Santiago and he was just some other like douchebag vampire. You know what I mean? Like, he'd be a good douchebag vampire, you know? Like, the writer has those funny one-liners. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why you would try to, like, hold yourself back and restrain yourself into, like, this ridiculousness.
Because they thought, oh, well, we won't be able to make any money if we don't do this. And we want to make our dark universe. Like, the multiverse concept is, like, ruining cinema and TV, like, as we know it. It's awful.
Do you remember when they didn't try to do multiverse stuff, but like it just like happened and it was kind of cool when it did?
Yeah, or like, when it was like a fan theory where you're like, oh wow, this could mean this, and you're like, oh, that's interesting.
No, but I mean, think about it. Like, okay, so you had all these TV sitcoms back in like the 90s, right? That all by the end of the decade wound up being interconnected. And they never even really had much of a crossover. It was just like one little thing, one little scene, right? You had Mad About You, Seinfeld, Friends, and I feel like there was one more. But like the way they were all connected was Mad About You had the chick who played Phoebe in it almost played the same exact character. They just basically wrote her as her twin sister. So like Helen Hunt and the other chick guest appeared for like 2 seconds on an episode, right? And then, I
didn't watch any of these shows.
But then like later
this was when what you're talking about is when I was watching like DuckTales and stuff.
Yeah, but then like Mad About You again connects it. So Paul, you know, I forget the comedian's name that plays Paul. His name's Paul, I think. Whatever. The main guy, Helen Hunt, you know, is the wife. She finds out he's still paying for his bachelor pad. He still has his old apartment. And
like Dexter.
So she gives him a hard time. Like, why do you still have it? So finally he's like, all right, I'm going to give it up. And he goes, Paul Reicher, thank you, Colonel Moore. And he goes to, he's been subletting it, right? So he goes to like give it to the guy, like sign it over to him to be the main tenant, and it's fucking Kramer from fucking Seinfeld.
Oh, weird.
Know? Yeah. So they were all interconnected. Like they were all in the same, technically in the same universe, but you would have never known it until these little fucking things. Like that was cool. But to like shoehorn everything in, it's like, okay, this is all like to plan it out. Yeah. So
Marvel has like broken everything. Avaricus said he made a lot of fledglings and fed on a lot of other vampires, but never had sex. When he was a vampire, he never had sex. He did have sex when he was a human. And it was always with women.
Yeah, it was with a nun, right? Yeah, a nun.
A nun, and then I think they say in Vampire Lestat, like he just talks about like the company of women. Like there's nothing specific, but like, you know, they're out upon the town, you know, doing what they do. Like, he never has sex with a vampire, obviously, because they can't. But as a human, he totally does. Like one of the first things he does is just fuck this chick that he meets at a club, I think.
Right.
So,
yeah.
but he's not even as Lestat. Like that's not his body. So, is it even him? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, you read that one.
Morgan says he banged David. Did he bang David and tell the body thief too? No, he didn't.
No. He made David. Or did someone else? Yeah, he made David a vampire. That's not fucking. What does a dead person need with genitals? I don't know where Mo is. He might just not want to watch this.
No, Mo's here.
Oh, some person said he wasn't here.
Well, he wasn't when that happened, but you're way behind in the chat.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up. Anne Ray's. Okay. Friends don't bang, they hug. Exactly. I urge anyone who is having issues with the concept of friendship to read C.S. Lewis's Four Loves so that you can rekindle the idea of friendship. Because these days, nothing can be just friends. Like, even in Disney movies and stuff, they keep having, like, kids can't just be friends, you know? But I promise you that friends are a thing, and you can have them. Please, stop this. Most secretly watching anime. Yeah, the Sleeping Beauty series is wild, and it's funny that Anthony's like, it's not bad. Like, I shouldn't be surprised. The stuff that he's doing with single moms is probably far worse.
No, I mean I've mentioned this before. My old metal band used to play at like legit like underground
sex clubs,
BDSM clubs, and like the shit in that book was nothing compared to what went down in these clubs.
Well, have you read the second and third books? Because it only gets like crazier.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, trust me. Anyway, oh my God, Colonel Mark, I don't even want to talk about it. She was a Christian. She grew up Catholic. She went to a Catholic school. That's where her name came from. Her name isn't even Anne. That's not her real name. She told the nuns that was her name. Yes, she had crises of faith all her life. But, I think it was mostly because of her stupid gay son. Anyway.
Yeah.
White Wolf's ripoff. Yeah, good.
Chris Stanley, you're right. If anybody in this community is a dungeoneer, it would be me. He calls me Dungeon Gift.
Right. They went through the other books and did that. Hobby horsing is not what I'm talking about. Exit to Eden with Rosie O'Donnell was that an adaptation? I didn't even know.
I don't know. That comment threw me off too.
Hey Mo, how you doing? Did you miss anything good? Yeah, Chris is right, Mo. Adventures of Lester and Lewis. In this episode, the pair deals with their complicated relationship with Almond. Indeed. I'm trying to catch up so we can continue. Siegfried and Roy would have been good gay vampire names for a new different story. What's up, Rumble Aru? Go back. Is that backing or signing up? Go back that. The whole series was like a bad fan fiction. I think the old man who played Daniel was the only one who actually read the book. Yeah, and when we watched some interviews with him, it seemed like he was the only one that like kind of cared about it. But in like I'm gonna get my last hurrah. You know, I've been acting my whole life, and this is probably gonna be my biggest role, kind of thing. Thank you, Felix. Rings of Power plus Privilege sucked, but so did the movies. Tolkien doesn't translate to any other medium well. I'm gonna say the Lord of the Rings movies were freaking great, but the Hobbit movies sucked butt.
Only one out of the Hobbit movies I liked was the first one. I can still watch the first one. The second and the third one, I get like bored. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I got 20 minutes into the first one of like the freaking dwarves just like tossing dishes around, and I was like, pass.
Well, that happens in whatever. Then you never saw the cartoon movie, then, did you?
I did see the cartoon, but it wasn't like weird and boring and long and stupid looking with like sexy dwarves. Like, what the hell is that? Yasmo and that.
Oh yeah, the slapping of the two blood fat cocks.
The Ship of Theseus rock bands that have so many members that you could make 2 bands with them with a claim to the band. I don't know what that means. I wish they did an episode where we see it's someone who wrote this crap and gets visited by the real Louis. Those 2 lines are very PTSD inducing. That's true. The show got so far from the source that now I enjoy it on a different level, like how one would watch The Room and enjoy it. Yeah. Just wish they did the dang book right. We'd be in Queen of the Damned right now. I don't know if we would be in Queen of the Damned. They assumed he was gay because they asked what kind of pussy he likes best, and he answered none.
I didn't see that comment.
Shut the fuck up, Mom. God damn it. Who are you, Mo? Someday I will shake your hand because you are so funny. I'm telling you, season 3 is Lester and the drag queen of the damned, probably. Yeah. Yes. Vampires don't poop. It's true, because they're not. Anne Rice vampires don't. I don't know about other vampires, but they are not vampires because of any like scientific thing. They're vampires because of basically magic. There's a spirit that has been broken up into basically pieces, and that's what each vampire is basically infused with. And so when they drink, it just absorbs the blood, and that's what keeps them alive, and that's what keeps the spirit fed. Which they would know if they had read further than page 10. Which I doubt even that, because obviously they didn't make it to page 2. That's not what happened. Oh my god. We do not talk about the Crow reboot. It doesn't exist.
What reboot? I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. BDSM is just sex with extra steps. Give me vanilla any day. Don't worry, I won't watch the reboot. Rings of Power. I'm trying to catch up. I'm sorry, everyone.
I think Morg was just messing with us.
Alright. Allie's trying to dox Mo. No, never. No. Just someday. Someday I'll meet him, and I'll shake his hand. And I probably won't know it, but it'll be great.
All right.
There will be like a tingle of happiness.
We got 2 horrible episodes to get through.
Yeah. But the next one is a lot easier. Because there's less to talk about.
True.
Okay. He tells her that it sucks. Lewis is like bored.
She looks so old in that. Like, she looks like a 70-year-old fucking voodoo priestess right now.
I forgot about that.
You know who she looks like? Do you remember? Did you watch what was that horror anthology TV show that was popular for a hot minute? American Horror Story?
I did, yeah.
Did you watch Coven?
I did. It looks like her retarded sister. It's true.
It looks like the sister. What was the black actress that played in that?
I forget, but she's awesome. I like her.
Yeah. She looks like they tried to make her look like that.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Dillard? Dillard's here. He's awesome.
Allie and Allie's friend, douchebag.
I'm winding down after coming from a stream about Mark. I don't know who that is. His heretical version of Christianity is best, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't do that to Dean. So Mo doesn't like anime, but he likes vampires. I think Mo likes stuff that's good. Aunt's cousin's best friend who ran Rice. The showrunners had no chance. I know! And she's my adopted grandma. Anyway. So yeah, she looks stupid. And complains. And all of these vampires stand around and look ugly. What the fuck?
Yeah, out of the theater troupe here, the only really good looking one, the closest to be, her. I was just gonna say her. She's the cutest one out of all of them, and she's
the
not
one
even
that's
that
sucking dick.
Yeah, the one that sucks everybody's dick, but she's not even like comparably speaking that hot to anybody else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But out of these people, she's like Playboy material. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing, it doesn't bother me that they're ugly, except for the fact that Anne specifically made it part of like their whole belief system that you have to be beautiful. This is a black melon vampire. No brow pyre. Anne Rice vampires are well known for their homeliness. Oh my god, no they're not. They would never have cast the most beautiful man on earth to play Louis.
I think Rumble Roo is being sarcastic.
Okay. Well, anyway, they do some stupid banter that's supposed to be like cute. Yeah, they tell her she has to.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. This is where they tell her she has to dress like her for like the foreseeable future.
All the time.
Yeah.
And they're like snarky at each other, blah blah blah. Look how freaking just down. Like Santiago was supposed to be like this beautiful gentleman. This is like this guy has seen the wrong end of like commies for the last 90 years. Like straight up, he looks like Hedwig in the Angry Inch when like Hedwig's on her deathbed. Like it's not good. Yeah. They are passive aggressive toward Lewis because they don't like him. What the hell is Blood Sabbath? I don't remember what that means, but
it's one of the plays.
Oh, right. They're mad that he doesn't watch their plays. Like it's just a whole bunch of pointless dialogue. And then of course we get I love you cringe where they're like we are exclusive with each other and like just these like freaking skinny twink men like in this bed. What the fuck is that? What is this?
Yeah, I don't
What
know
is
who
that?
the art person is that picks all these like things that hang in the background are, but they have bad taste.
And you can only tell like when we pause it, and I'm just like, what is on there? What is that?
It almost looks like
Is this
a
supposed
photograph of like a raw steak. That's like I'm like,
is this supposed to be Dada art? Because it looks like it's all ripped up.
I
Is she
don't
on
know,
a
right?
blanket?
No, but it is it a person? It looks like raw chicken on like a tiled countertop. That's what it looks like.
Ugh. These vampires are insufferable, for real. My Baby Loves Windows sounds like a Melinda Gates biography. Oh, I get it. I don't know. It could be the sequel to Tears in Heaven. Was that too dark?
Maybe a little.
That might have been too dark. Sorry, everybody. A lot of the people in my chat probably won't know what that is anyway. Yeah. First thing I saw Brad Pitt in before Interview was when he was the doofus stoner in True Romance, and he's pretty. He's a beautiful man. There's a problem with anyone who doesn't think he's beautiful. Awesome One is puking. Yeah, some KFC art. One day when we're all gone, ChatGPT will make the perfect AI-generated interview TV show to which another AI will comment, good show. Chicken breast? I know, Mo! So dark. It looks like someone burned a painting and left it up there. Cool World. Yes, exactly. Thelma and Louise. It's high art. He doesn't play that song when drawing Embrace. He's not the writer. Odin's the writer. First someone posts their food on Instagram, now they're framing it on their wall. Yes, an anime version, like Vampire Hunter D. That would be cool. Yeah, so they have some cringe. I meant to look it up, but he says, like, are you a schizo? Like, Almond asks him if you're a schizo, and I didn't know if in the 40s that was a term that was around yet, but because he's still having hallucinations,
Of Lester.
hallucinations or whatever. Fuck. Ah, look at that face. His face is always cringy and terrible. Like, what is this? Who makes this expression? He looks like he's gonna friggin'
He looks like he's in a Campbell
child.
soup. He's in a Campbell soup commercial.
Yeah, something. Yeah, so they whine. He tells him about his retarded brother and stuff. What did you say about his you said, I feel like you said something about his hair.
Oversized
He's
nipples.
like patchy. He's patchy with oversized nipples or something. Like, what?
His nipples are bigger than his eyes. What the fuck is going on here?
He's got just like a little
Like,
bit
why
of
do I have to know this now? 48 years old. I could have went my whole life without knowing that men's nipples can be bigger than fucking Big Bertha. Fucking holy shit.
He looks like he shit himself at old Urkel face, right? Hail Steven, where's...
It looks like two big pieces of fucking liverwurst slapped on his chest right now.
Send Steven the link so he can sing Cry Little Sister, Dark Gift 2. He got memories. Cold cuts. Yeah, this whole scene was cringy, and then Almond has a weird flashback, and this is when I knew that they were going to change his origin story, and they do later. Like, in the next thing, they change it, and we can go over it then. But he has a weird flashback. And then... Whoops.
Thank you, Rachel.
Oh yeah, and Lester's in the room with them as they like cringely talk to each other about being in love and stuff.
Well, the hallucinatory Tory version of
Yeah.
of Lester.
Yeah, looking like ridiculous. I hate that they smoke. I know you don't care, but
Well, I'm a smoker,
drives
so I
me
don't
insane.
care.
It drives me insane. They never do, and it just doesn't. It's not, and it bothers me. But like, look at how, brother, I don't want to see this. Nasty.
Some person says it's a Brad Pitt in person. They really try to make him look as close to Brad Pitt as possible. They do.
Yeah, which is stupid because he should be looking like Tom Cruise as he is Lester. Is he pregnant? Maybe.
They
Brother,
were really trying to do it first in the promotional art. I think they had to wait for his hair to get a little bit longer because they started to. Damn, that's a fucking visual I didn't need. Thanks, Rachel.
Yeah, look, he doesn't. But at least he's not getting head in the swamp now. Do you think they placed this candle on purpose? Was that done on purpose?
I don't remember it that much, so I'm gonna say no. It's because of you freeze framing right there. That makes it look like a big flaming penis coming out of his pants.
Yeah, and then like just when we were happy that we didn't have to see like the cringe, like they do not have chemistry. Like even as gay guys, they don't have chemistry. And that you can have movies where the guys have chemistry. Okay? You can. It's a thing. Brokeback Mountain, in my opinion, they had real chemistry. I actually really like that movie. But like there's no chemistry. They're just like
Wait,
when teenage girls are at a party.
Did you just say you liked Brokeback Mountain?
Yeah. I haven't seen it in years, but like when I saw it when it first came out, I really liked it. But yeah, so they're just like when teenage girls decide that they want to make out in front of the boys. Oh my god, really? You're ridiculous. Yeah, in like 2006 I did, okay? Everyone watched it, okay? That's what everyone was doing.
Are any of the actors gay? Louis DePointy Black is actually married in real life, apparently, to a woman.
And they have children.
Yeah.
This is a man with a child.
I don't know about the other two.
Yes!
Oh!
You're right, Dream. I love you, Philip Morris. They were adorable. Unbelievable. It's true. But just in case Dean visits. Oh, because of Brokeback Mountain? I don't think he would watch that. Even there's nothing I could do that would make Dean watch that. Your chest is my charcuterie board, and I'm ready to dig into them deli delights.
Big old pepperoni.
Ugh. Ugh, brother. Ugh, what's up, Perth? Yeah, so they do their cringy, like, kiss, blah, blah, and it's gross and weird.
Don't do it. Just skip right over. Don't do it. Rewatch this so they don't have to.
That's true. Yeah, and then this is us, like, in the audience laughing.
That was funny
because they kiss.
We laughed as Lester laughed.
Because it makes no sense and it's stupid. And then you promised you wouldn't talk. Like, fuck. And none of this happens, you know, I don't have to say it, but literally none of this happens. Lester and Almond, Louis and Armand and Lestat and Armand never had relations. Just FYI. And they never had stupid contacts either. Or weird, fucked up teeth.
Why do they always mess with his contacts? Do you ever notice like Lewis's contacts are never the same?
You can call him Candle Dick from now on. The comedy that comes from the chat is almost worth the two of you watching the show. Thank you for the almost. Ah, Mo! Yeah, and this is how I feel after that.
That's exactly how we look at the end of every episode.
Just, we've aged and we're drooping.
Defeated.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. They have some weird banter about Claudiqua, and they keep bringing, like, they keep doing these weird Zoom things on Almond, where it's very obvious they're trying to tell you that things are not what they seem. You know, like, he keeps asking them questions that are supposed to really pound it into your head that someone is lying. And it's like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, we get it. We already knew what comes out later, and I mean, basically, I'm just gonna a little spoiler. We were right. Armand erased Lewis's and Danny Boy's memories back in the 70s.
Yeah, because that's
we'll get
that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a later episode. One. Yeah.
But there's all these powers that they've given them that they don't actually have. Almond's like, I didn't know that he was a fucking psycho. And then Daniel's looking on his computer and at these files that were sent to him by that guy who is a member of the Talamasca. And he's like, who survived the theater? And they're like, we didn't say anything about a theater. He's not intimidating. I don't...
Yeah, he's like, how do you know about the fire?
He's like a freaking Indian twink.
He's like, I had my researcher, you know. So Daniel's like covering for the fact that
that he's been contacted.
Talamasca guy has been contacted him. So he's like saying his researcher, and he keeps calling it a her. You know, so throw him off the scent because they can't read minds when they need to. Only when it's like convenient for the plot. You know, like
welcome, citizen.
These guys are reading minds left and right, and then all of a sudden, like Daniel's having like a fucking panic attack because he thinks he's gonna get caught because his secret file's on his computer, and they have no clue.
Yeah, they don't even try. It's very dumb. So that's why Ali hasn't been on camera the last few weeks. Early onset aging. Yeah, I have been on camera.
This show will do it to you.
But tonight, my camera fell apart. Like, it just fucking fell apart. His neck grows an inch every episode. That's probably helpful for their gayness. Armand killed Louis in the bedroom with the candlestick. It's the game of gay vampire Clue. 13 years. Awesome one. The characters are too indecisive to make anything happen. It all started with... I'm not going to read it again. It hurts every time.
Which one of y'all gonna fuck me?
Almond von Candlestick shat himself again. I need someone to clip that so that I can put it in there so I don't have to say it anymore.
What?
It would be exciting to do Bollywood. I need someone to clip when she says that.
I have it clipped.
Oh, send it to me. I also want the part where he pours milk all over himself. I really want that.
Gives himself a self
right in the beginning.
Bukkake, yeah.
Yeah, where he's just in the sun pouring milk all over himself. 13, awesome one. Alright. Anyway, moving right along. Okay, here's a weird flashback. They're like, the fire, the post-war reconstruction. Now she's down with the rats. He's asking about her diary. She lies about it. They have a stupid conversation about Celeste and Estelle. Hold on. I'm looking at my notes. Okay. Yeah, almost nothing happens in here. They just have a talk, and he reveals that his maker is hidden in these morgue thingies, which should be what are they called? The catacombs of Paris. It should be that, because that's what it is in the book, but instead they cheaped out and just did these morgue shelves.
Yeah, it's weird. They're like in some abandoned morgue rather than the catacombs of Paris.
Yeah. Then she's walking around talking about the thing, and then she sees Madeleine, and she's washing off the swastika that the people keep drawing on her store, and says about how, like, she had sex with a Nazi because she was lonely during the war, and now everybody calls her a Nazi. And it's like, why? This isn't a thing either, by the way. Obviously, this didn't happen, because in the book, it's like 100 years before now. But, you know, who cares? Nothing matters, right? Says she's an actress, says come see my play. Now they're at a banquet. Santiago mocks him with his own voice, because that mimicry is a thing that they could do. I don't know why they're at a banquet just being gay with each other. I don't actually remember.
Yeah, it was a stupid scene.
Yeah. It was just so that they could be at a table, I guess, wearing fancy hats. I don't know. Yeah, he makes fun of him. It's awkward. They're mad. Oh, he grabs his tongue. In like this violent outburst for some reason. And then Almond does the X-Men thing and stops time.
Yeah, Almond is also Professor X, just like Lester.
Yeah. And he's like, you guys are acting like stupid fledglings fighting, and then it's weird. And then this guy says that Lewis's photography is bad. So he kills him. Like, it was a really long scene. Where, like, nothing happens.
And another pointless scene, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's now, and they're looking at all his pictures. And Lewis is like, I didn't take this picture. I didn't take this picture. And he realizes that Almond has mixed in good pictures from other photographers that are good to, like, boost Lewis's ego. and it's like, why? Clutty your jacket, though. Showrunner, we couldn't afford to film in the catacombs, but one of the interns moonlights as a morgue attendant, and that's close enough. Anne Rice presents dicks and swastikas, right? Swastadicks. Yeah, these vampires can stop time and move through it and change what happens. Like, only the true brute are supposed to be able to stop time. Lame. Well, they don't have those in actual Anne Rice's thing. Dr. Vampoo, yeah. Right? Give me Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the musical, over this. Like, the musical episode. I forget what it's called. I think Play It Again or something. Give me that one. I want to see Spike lip-syncing poorly.
One More
over
Time with
this.
Feeling, I think it was what it was called.
One more, yes, you're right. I freaking love that shit, that episode. The set designers all shop at Ross.
Giles' song was really good in that. Yeah.
And Giles is a good singer though. Like he already was a good singer.
I was let down by Spike because Spike was actually in a band, and I was like,
you were all excited.
He sounded off key, yeah.
He was. Well, that wasn't him singing.
No, it was.
I thought he was lips.
They all lip sync to their own songs because of.
Oh, I thought he dubbed someone else sang though.
No, that was him singing, and he was way off key.
Wow.
If you ask me.
Hello, Dean. It is super gay. All right. So, yeah, he freaks out. They fight about the stupid pictures, and he has another flashback. They do the show again. Daniel starts feeling bad. They flash back on a dead body, and Madeline comes to see the show. Claudia wants a ride. Claudiqua wants a ride. And presumably they go... At this point, I think maybe they went and fucked. I don't know. That happens later. He's hallucinating Lestat again as he's talking about how bad his stuff is. Oh yeah, and he eats a picture.
Right, which was weird because he's a hallucination.
So it's like maybe he ate his own picture but hallucinated, and then you're just like, why am I thinking about this? This is stupid.
Yeah, I'm putting way too much thought into this shitty TV show.
Yeah. Let's see. Every time that he has a hallucination with Lestat too, it's just really long and really boring. And Almond is like, come down to me, doing the like, he's all but holding a boombox over his head. Yeah,
it's a total say anything scene.
Yeah. Like, he looks fucking ridiculous. Like, what are you wearing? They all are not dressed in ways that flatter them ever. He's literally wearing
the trench coat that what's his name wears and say anything.
I know, but like whoever's doing the costuming does not know how to flatter any of these people in any way. They all look terrible. And then you compare the costuming to the movie and it's like shockingly different. But anyway,
did you ever notice, not to go on a side note tangent here, but the trench coat in Say Anything is almost the same trench coat as the one Judd Nelson wears in Breakfast Club.
Wasn't it the same trench coat everyone was wearing in the 80s?
I'm wondering if it was the actual same trench coat, though, like from the wardrobe.
Well, in Heather's, Christian Slater's basically wearing the same trench coat.
I wonder if it's the same trench coat.
Maybe it is. Who knows?
Aren't they all John Hughes films?
Are they?
No, Heather's isn't.
I don't know. Lewis showed Almond his lens cap on collection, and Almond felt sorry for him. In your eyes. Yeah. That's a good song, though, Citizen. They don't have good songs in this, except for in the first season with the random jazz. Just saw an ad for Disney Descendants movie. Might be less gay than this show. Oh, the new one? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it, but I won't let my kid watch it because it's probably gay. Savers, yeah. He should be holding up a gramophone. That's true. Grandma, Grandpa, gramophone. Yeah, so they sit in here, and even though Madeline thinks that she's a child somehow, she starts talking about fucking a Nazi because she's like lonely. And I'm sorry, but this is not a seamstress's work. Like, whatever this freaking frock is supposed to be, and they're like, oh, it's so hard for me to find dresses that suit my body. And it's like, you are like a 25-year-old woman women's dresses are made for you. Like, the sports bra that you have on is not hiding the fact that you are not 17. Okay? Okay. It's so dumb. Where are we? Yeah. They talk about having sex with a Nazi, which is weird. Because why would she talk about that with someone she thinks is a child? And you're like, oh, that's supposed to be... Like, that's supposed to make me feel bad for her? Is that she, like, was in love with a Nazi or whatever?
All right, real quick. Share my screen.
What?
I think it's the same trench coat.
I mean... Maybe. She was looking for Mr. Reich. Reich. That's funny. Maybe it is. Do you have the Heathers one up there? Woman, you fucking Nazi once and everyone thinks you're a Nazi. It's so unfair. No worries.
His is black.
Oh, okay. At least the vampires in Blade wanted to be blood gods. They were motivated. Yeah. So we're supposed to be like, oh, the poor Nazi chick. Like, that's sad. What is this? Does she go out?
Chick bangs a Nazi and then
Her new dress.
People are throwing shit out her window.
This is the part where Almond does another X-Men and, like, freezes this guy's mind or something.
Yeah, he just mind controls him into standing still.
Yeah, and then you never show it, like, being changed. Heathers is a great movie, yeah. It's hilarious. Oh, so they break into this museum and they're walking around looking at all the paintings and Almond's and the wax figures and stuff. And Almond is like slowly building up to telling Lewis and the ghost, the hallucination of Lester, and thereby the audience, us, about his past, which I was quite curious about. Because obviously I know the real story. They wander around and he's like, "What? I don't like you parading her around. It's mean." Blah 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 blah. It's supposed to be romantic music, but it's just weird. And then he takes him to this room, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna say that a painting is him." Oh yeah! And instead of walking up these stairs, Almond flies up. Like, he's right there.
Right,
and he's flying.
right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he hovers up while Louis has to walk the long staircase. It's like you can't even like carry the motherfucker, right? Like
no, probably because they thought that they had to make Lester and Louis walk up the stairs together to symbolize how very different and disconnected they are. Blah 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 blah.
I don't think they even put that much thought into it.
It looks silly every single time they have Almond fly. And he just goes boop, like stupid. But yeah, they get him, they get to this room, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna freaking say that some painting is Almond. And of course they do.
And it doesn't even look like him. It's like a white blonde dude.
Guy. The Adoration of the Shepherds with a donor, and I looked up the actual painting. And look at that. Look how hard they're trying to make him look like Brad Pitt. Like, it's disgusting. How dare you? Like, they even light him the way you would light Brad Pitt, but like, I'm sorry. No one is Brad Pitt. This guy cannot be Brad Pitt. Well, fuck you. Maybe the trench coat fell into some black dye Brotherhood of the Traveling Coat. Oh, that would be funny. To be fair, though, if I could fly, I'd never use a staircase. Sure.
Dollar store pit.
Trying real hard. Yeah, DSP, even. He isn't flying because he's a vampire. It's because he's so thin. He's lighter than air. Well, they do have, like, the flight gift or whatever. Some of her vampires do. But they don't, like, it's not this. Like, they basically can go up into the stratosphere. They don't just, like, jump around like freaking Superman steers the Great Equalizer. Yeah, so Almond starts telling about his backstory, which is a thing he did not do in the book. And then he says his maker is Marius de Romanus.
Which is true.
And then Almond says he was a painter, albeit of lesser skill, which is sort of true. And then he's like, this is me. And then he says that Marius, like, pimped him out or something. Let me read it. His parents sold him to Turkish people or something. And then Marius donated him to friends, which is not a thing Marius would do. I'm sorry. Like, he might have been a pederast, but he was also quite jealous and controlling. He would not have pimped out, like, his little boys.
These people,
I'm
like,
sorry.
I mean, they'll make it as if it was like a tortured event, but like they just love to abuse children, even if it's in flashback form.
Yeah, and actually, what really happened to Armand is that, yes, he was kidnapped, but he was Russian. Just FYI for everyone, he was from Russia, and he painted religious icons that were so beautiful, people thought that they were real, and he was kidnapped by people who put him into a brothel, but Marius saved him before he could be abused at all, and then literally started bringing him up in Italy and teaching him how to fight, teaching, like, how to properly fence. He had him learn how to paint and got all these boys into trades and stuff. Like, it was actually quite good for him. And even let him, like, go back home to find his parents again, like, and then saves his life, like, yeah. So, and they never fuck either, so you're welcome. Because they can't. But in this one, Marius is just like a pimp, I guess, and that's fine.
Yeah, there he is.
Wonder...
That's supposed to be him right there. That curly-haired little boy.
I'm trying to make it, like, go, and it's, like, stuck now. Come on! Go! Damn it. The website is, like, messing up now. I don't know what to do. Okay. So, this guy...
It's supposed to be him. This European, Mediterranean-looking child is supposed to be this Russian Indian.
Well, no, they never say he's Russian in this one.
That's true.
That's how confused the showrunners are. They say he's from Delhi or something. Right. We need to make him look like Brad Pitt, not realizing Brad played Louis, not Lestat. Exactly. But he's the only guy they allowed to be white because in interview he's the bad guy. What's up, Ray? Welcome. He sort of sounds like Apu if Apu was, like, really gay.
No, it doesn't really sound like Apu. He sounds
Well,
like very pretentiously British.
gay British Apu. Almond. I was sold for 2 shekels too. Can you believe how embarrassing that was? Does he own a 7-Eleven on the side? No, it's a theater. That actually, Lestat owns. But yeah, this white guy is supposed to be him. And it's like, the audience is looking at it like, are you sure? And he says he was 15 when he was rescued, which is true. But then they age him up and make him 27. But like, this is a white boy.
Clearly
And
a white boy.
you are trying to tell me that this is the same person?
I know.
Like, fuck off. As he's shackled on the boat. It makes him seem crazy. Because it's like, clearly that is not you, doofus. And
it's
like,
almost like
this...
he's imagining this whole story.
Yeah. This is not you, friend. And look at how he's so ugly. He's got a weird little mouth, like... Ugh. Why are they all just so ugly? I can't. Anyway, he calls Magnus the Coven leader at this point, and says it was set fire, they took him to Paris. Magnus was never a Coven leader, but yes, they set fire to Marius' house and took Armand to Paris. That true? That's true, blah, blah, blah. And no one has painted me in over 400 years. I'm so very old. Blah, blah, blah. She makes fun of her boobs. And notices she doesn't age. So she makes up a story. And then the worst possible thing happened. This is when it happened, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna be lesbian vampires.
God, yeah.
Yeah, you have eyes like my windows. And it's like, what? Do her eyes have swastikas painted on them? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, she's like, oh, you have like no boobs, and you don't even age, and your eyes are glass, but like they're not. They're clearly like orangey, reddish brown. Like
a collision in me. Like, I want to go bang. Yeah, we know you do. Okay, sweetheart? Like, wow.
Your eyes are like my window. Dirty.
Yeah, and then...
Oh yeah, then she has her period. And they just show
all
the
over!
blood running down her leg.
Everywhere! Dripping! All the way! Absurdly!
Yeah.
Claudia's hungry for it.
Like,
it's
I had
weird.
some girlfriends that had some really bad flow days, you know what I mean? But they weren't leaving messes. They weren't leaving a trail from the living room to the bathroom, you know what I'm saying?
Blood snail trails, for real. He spent time in the sun. Yeah, it's not even close.
And Claudiqua gets hungry.
Yeah, Claudiqua is like...
She sees the period blood and is like, yum, yum.
How did these ethno-vampires survive in ye olden days? Exactly, Perth! Vamples. What the fuck? Yeah, exactly! Jesus Christ. Yeah! Oh, for fuck's sake. No! It's not in the books!
None of this is in the books! If we come to something that's actually in the books, we'll say it. So if we haven't said it ever,
Madeline in the books is barely there. All you know about her is that her daughter died, and she is willing to become a vampire to be Claudia's new companion, so that Louis doesn't feel chained to her. And because child vampires, because in the books, Claudia is 5. but she's 60 or something, like in real life. It's just yeah. And then right when this happened, I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna be lesbians." Like
I think
they're
we
gonna
both
show
said
us.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna show some sort of nasty, gross, like lesbian because of this scene. That like I don't, brother. Ugh.
She's like, don't worry. Paris is still broke because of the war, and you can't afford feminine hygiene products. Let old Claudiqua take care of that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Claudiqua does the cringy like hiss when she sees the blood.
Yeah.
Because her stupid fangs come out like, it's like,
like,
stop this.
Give me some of that.
Yeah. Almond finds her and is really mad. And they fight. And it's dumb. I feel like I saw this in some movie at some point. Like Red Dragon or something? One of those movies. This scene. Or not this scene, like this backdrop. Anyway,
Yes, she would, Citizen Ronan.
he tells her it's degrading what she's doing, and he hates her. And what is that look? Like, ugh. They fight, blah blah blah. It's really long and stupid. Santiago follows him. They fight. Louis is depressed, talking to Lestat. None of this, like, talking has a point.
Right. So when they were walking back, Armand threatens her. Basically says, "You're not going to see your human friend anymore, and if you do, I'll tell the Coven about Lestat," because Louis told Armand about Lestat. About
I
how
think
they killed
he
him.
read his mind. I thought he read his mind.
Well, he's like, every time you think of him, because remember they said it was the hell was that guy's name? Butch? Bud? The biker
Oh,
guy.
the guy that graped her.
Yeah, they said he was the one that turned him, whatever the hell his name was.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You mean Lestat?" And then like he was like, "Yeah," and then he explained, and then Louis tells him about Lestat and what happened. So then Armand reveals to Claudiqua that he knows about how they killed Lestat.
Yeah.
So now she's confronting him about it.
And Citizen, if Anne Rice were alive, she would immediately die after seeing this.
That's what I said.
Why Claudiqua and Madeline gotta be gay? Exactly. Her son did do her so dirty. Fuck you, Chris. Yeah, they have a fight because he's looking at all his bad photography. He can't figure out why it's bad. They fight. It's really stupid. She's mad that they fuck. He sets fire to some photos.
Because apparently
as he hallucinates Lester. Yeah, because he can do it with his mind now. For some reason. Then the Coven breaks into the flat. As Lester and Louis walk. And it's supposed to be like really intense and cool. And then like while they sit or while they're looking through everything, he slowly disappears. And it's supposed to be like, oh, he finally lets him go. And like, look, they're trying so hard to make him look like Brad Pitt. Look at that. Yeah. I think I was really mad during the, like, I was pissed. I was like cursing at the screen. I was like, how dare you motherfucker. Like, genuinely offensive.
If Anne were alive
If-
today, she would ask for the one man who could help her save the show. My
My
best
best
friend
friend.
and writing partner, Craig LePetre.
Shut the fuck up, wow. Lol. Yeah, Chris, do you remember when I handed him his ass on a show about Anne Rice? And I didn't even know who he was? That's the joke. Lewis, why can't I sell any photos? I'll show them one day. I'll make an awesome TV show about my life. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Bruce. That's it, Avaricus. Thank you. I couldn't remember Bruce.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, Buck? What the fuck
Oh,
was
Risey did too? That's hilarious. Yeah, so he disappears in the rain. It's all sweet, like, oh, goodbye.
Yeah, he's letting go of his craziness, apparently. This is what this is supposed to symbolize.
But it's like, what is this? It looks like, in Thor Love and Thunder, with that boy's face, or was it Ragnarok? The boy's face, like, floating in the air.
Oh, it reminded me of when, like, a really bad version of when in Infinity War, where they all like turn to dust and disappear.
Oh, no, I was talking about the one where that little boy's face is like floating in the air.
I don't remember that.
Oh, Armand says he wants to leave. Almond says he wants to leave Paris with him. They talk about it. Blah, blah, blah. It's in the rain. They're gay in the rain together.
And Louis like, I could help you take it back. I was good at running things. And he calls him...
oh, yeah.
He calls him mate. Almond calls Louis Mater instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
Which is master.
Master, yeah. And it's supposed to be this meaningful, like, oh... You're no longer his master, like he's your master now, and it's stupid. He found that Santiago found one of her diaries and reads it, which is probably where she wrote down what they did to Lester.
Right.
What is that? You sure about that, Arun? Maybe it's just bad things.
Yeah, they're all talking in their minds right now.
Oh, yeah, they were all talking in their minds. And then they're like, oh, look, they were having sex in the now. There's a whole scene that's super cringy. That's now. What is this? Why would you be okay with letting yourself be seen?
More salami tits.
And just like a little bit of fur around them. Take it way fucking back. Like, I hate how they curse all the time. Like, there's no eloquence in the way that they speak. That's also sad. I love how the biggest thing that bothers Allie, not the menstruation blood, not the ugly twinks, he does not look like fucking Brad Pitt. It's offensive! It is cringe! Look, and he does his stupid face he always does when he's trying to cry.
Oh yeah, this is when they're arguing over the photos.
Yeah, fighting. So Daniel has flashbacks and he researches files for information on himself. And they're fighting. Here's the flashback to
he keeps having
him.
This weird flashback of Armand talking about like things he did.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you had sex with a chick in high school. And they keep going to this story of him telling this girl he would never have sex with her, or the only way he would have sex with her is if she put a bag over her head, and then she does it, and so he does it, and she cries under the bag, and it's like, why? Why is this, like, this is not a thing that ever happened. Again, this never happened in the books. Nothing like this ever happens in a single one of the books. And it's like, oh, Almond it's a flashback. And he's like, whoa, what a weird flashback. Just start the tape. And he's having flashbacks of their first interview. Because what this show did is it's trying to gaslight you, the audience, into thinking that the first interview, the book, like they straight up tell you this in the first season. The first interview is all a lie. It's all a performance, and what you read is bullshit. And they're gonna tell us the real story.
Right. And then they burn the tapes.
Only in the next one it reveals that he didn't, like, he kept a copy.
No, somehow the Talamasca had it.
Oh yeah, digital copy. Yeah. So
yeah,
known and suspected victims of who. Oh, they've got Jessie on there with a little asterisk, probably because she's a vampire now.
Christina Cox has an asterisk. Susan Allen.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is either. Or Jonathan Parker. Oh well. Then it flashes back to them in the 70s. More pictures. Like, he's having flashbacks basically while he
is listening to the tapes.
Yeah. Researches and listens to the tapes enhanced. Because the Talamasca enhances them. And he hears something that he's like, whoa, that is important. And you're like, wow, okay. And this is him as a young boy in the 70s. And then he's asking them what happened. And then he poops again, and then it's over.
And that's episode 4.
Yeah, and they end quite abruptly, where you're like, oh, is that the end? Like,
yeah, it was really, like, you could tell it was meant to be a cliffhanger, but...
And actually, this one ended in the middle of a sentence. He says, I was at my home pit. And it ended in the middle of a sentence. And I thought that it had, like, glitched or something.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah. It was weird. And we're not going to go through all this because it's just, like, behind the scenes stuff where they talk about how fucking amazing they are. Alright. This one should go pretty fast, honestly, because, like, not much happens.
Stay tuned after the show for an exclusive look inside.
Like, a lot happens, but also not much happens. But an important thing to note is that literally nothing in this episode happened in the books at all.
This is another, I don't think, no, they got the one line they got from the books where Daniel says, you don't understand, or, oh God, what did... During the first interview when he's like telling him to turn him and he's like,
oh, you don't know the meaning of your own story.
Yeah. That's it. That's the one line that actually happened in the book that didn't, that happens here. Other than that, this is all just somebody's
Chris,
fucking brain fart.
God bless you for reviewing this. I couldn't do it. We're debating continuing for the next season. But the thing is, we and this other YouTuber that I love, Jay Longbone, are the only people talking about this. No one's watching it. No one's talking about it. It's thoughts, bots, and plots. That's all. Thoughts who, are obviously, what is a thought? Bots who are there to make it seem like it's better than it is and more popular than it is. And then people watching, quote unquote, for the plot. Because when it first started being on Twitter, there were people that were saying, like, oh, I'm totally going to watch this for the plot, wink, when really they were people who just wanted to watch it for the porn. Also, yes, please like and subscribe. Thank you for more stuff. Most of what I do is not this, just so people know. You don't know the meaning of your own story. They use that line intentionally. Take that, Anne. Exactly. It can be fun, I guess. Sometimes. Oops, I need to close. Steam was on automatically and it was making my computer run slow. There we go. Okay. They watch for the plot to see the plot thicken. I'm not saying that, Mo. This is the point in the season where I was predicting it was going to go way bonkers, and so far removed, I started to watch the show in a different light and enjoy how awful it is. Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at, Extreme.
Oh, yeah, that's totally what I do, Citizen.
I'm actually I'm on board with Daniel now. Like, again, if they just, I call him Danny Boy because he's not Daniel. Like, I'm on board with Danny Boy. I like his fucking attitude and his fucking one-liners, you know, like just like ripping apart our Almond and Lewis. And, yeah.
Yeah, and this show actually, I have the least amount of notes. My notes are usually about 4 pages long. This one's just 1 page on like back and forth because so little happens and it really feels like its own separate thing. There's a reason no one's talking about it. They got in too deep and had to make something. Now they want to hide the shame. Yeah, and not only is nobody talking about it, but it's not winning any awards for anything. They do all these like podcasts with the writers and all this extra like stuff. I really feel like it's a possibility that this is just some sort of money laundering scheme. It can't be otherwise. I don't understand, yeah. But yeah, everything in episode 5 doesn't happen in any of the books. So first we have to do the bomb thing that it does. And now we're back to today. And they're going to start revealing what really happened. It is a psyop. What really happened in the 70s. So they're basically gaslighting the audience. They're like, what you read in the book is not real. They even address him being black now. Like, they're like, oh, I only said that I was a white slave owner from the 1700s because nobody in the 70s would have like liked or read or believed my story if I told the truth about how I was actually a black pimp from the late 1800s. Just breathe, Allie. Just breathe. It's fine. Yeah. So they're gonna start. What does it say? Embraced by. I don't even know what I fucking wrote. Whatever. Let's go. So Daniel sits and like with Danny Boy, then sits with Lewis and is like, we're gonna talk. And Almond, and it does all these flashbacks. Yeah, the tapes are an admitted performance because what they're going to reveal to us is that they fucked some of the tapes up. I don't know. Some surveillance photos that are totally not photoshopped of them in San Francisco. What is this artwork? What is that? What is this? What is this? What the heck? Are those penises?
The art always changes in every episode. It's like while they sleep, somebody comes in and just changes the paintings out.
I think it's because they're supposed to be art dealers, because every once in a while they like stand in front of some art and like argue about selling it or something. It's stupid. Yeah, here he is saying, oh wait, this is the recap. Never mind. That was the recap. We already went through all that. Look how he looks like a weird clay baby. Anyway, bwong. Bwong. Alright. So now we're back in the 70s. Pimpin' ain't easy, it's true. They do. It's a totem pole of dong. The name of the piece is Which One of Y'all? Oh my gosh. Alright. They talk about how they... Okay, now they're in July 1949, and how they would break into the library and, like, fuck in the library or something and stare at the ceiling and stuff. It's stupid, and they talk about how they're gay together. What is it? Danny points out that sometimes he speaks weird when he's talking about them. Like he changes and he says like he's trying to distance himself from something that happened. They say they're fighting the narcoleptic pull of the sun, which her vampires cannot do. They cannot stay awake during the day at all, in any way. Even, I know that in the movie Interview with the Vampire, they have that scene where they have, like, Claudia, tiptoeing into, Louis's coffin. I know why they did it. It's because they wanted, like, the image of it. But they shouldn't have done it because her vampires can't be awake during the day. It's not possible.
Right, but if you notice, they never do that again throughout the rest of it. They just wanted to show, like, the father-daughter dynamic, like how a child will run into their parents' room in the middle of the night.
Well, that's scared. Not true. They do it again when Claudia and Madeleine are at the bottom of that shaft, and Claudia's like, "Wake up, the sun is coming," and like they see it and feel it. But I know why they did that too. It's because they wanted the visual of like them screaming in pain. Like, I get why, okay? But they still can't do that. Sorry. It's not a thing. But then real Rashid comes in.
Real Rashid, yeah.
With this Instagram rapper.
Yeah, they literally went there with Instagram rapper influencer guy.
Yeah, that's who this is, by the way. He's some, like, Instagram rapper that they have, like... Oh, but he's there... They've hired him in exchange for crypto. It's like 20,000 crypto.
Yeah, basically... They made a bet that he couldn't make it to a certain spot by a certain time. Unbeknownst, and if he can, he gets this money.
But he doesn't know that he's supposed to be being tracked and eaten by Almond while
Almond
he's doing it.
Is gonna hunt him while he's doing it, yeah. If he makes it, apparently they will pay him and let him go.
In crypto,
yeah. So we got rapper, Instagram influencer, and crypto all in one scene. There you go. Welcome to 2024, guys.
I was like, just mention COVID again. Just sprinkle some on there. Stupid. Yeah. It's too long of a scene. Real Armand never did anything like that. They leave, they talk about what's happening. Crypto, friggin' blah blah blah. So now that they're alone, Danny takes the opportunity to say, we are going to figure out what really happened back in the 70s. I'm going to play you the real stuff, and we're going to talk about it. And he has that freaking flashback again of Almond trying to figure out what is so interesting about him. They show his like psycho notes.
You just passed over, like he says, go back. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Go. Go. There. They were talking about something about Armand and like the hunting and all that, and he goes, follow up with the vampire Armand about diet and exercise. And Louis like, what do you mean follow up? He's like, oh, just a note from my quote unquote assistant, meaning the Talamasca.
Oh, right. Louis, when we're done with you, you won't make a sound cloud. Perth, trust vampires to deal in crypto. Oh my god. Yeah. I didn't really. I wonder if they did that on purpose. I doubt they're that clever. They were just trying to be like, cool. Yeah. So they have the flashbacks, and he's like, "We're gonna figure this out. How long is he gonna be gone?" And he says 2 hours, ish. They say that Almond saved Danny from Lewis and dumped him in a drug den. And that's what he remembers. Yeah, he ripped you off me, dumped me in a drug den. Then he says that there's a list of hundreds of thousands of kills.
But he let me live, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this line is
he says a whole bunch of stuff. Armand preserves my happiness, even when I don't or can't. He had a hunch you might prove fruitful in later times. It's like a whole long thing. And he's like, okay, whatever. He's saying, like, this shit doesn't add up. Like, the way I felt is after drugs is different from the way that I felt when I watched when I think of this. So they go to listen to the thing, and they look stupid. He's got a stupid freaking, like, 70s pseudo-fro. Louis would never dress like this. They wear suits. Fuck you. Ugh. Anyway, like, he's like, I found you interesting. Oh, look, I like this. Slinky jazz. Yeah, the jazz music sounds like straight up porn.
Yeah.
Like it's porn jazz. I can't wait for future TV shows to do the flashback of 2020 where they are all sitting inside their house in masks. Well, that's what they talk about in the first season. They say that the reason they're doing it is because they're bored and COVID's happening. The vampires are under quarantine. It's stupid just saying it. You could have it orchestrated by the vampires so they can move around freely while everyone is locked inside. Yeah, except no, the vampires are locked inside too. Yeah, it's porno jazz. So, yeah. They walk around.
He sees the coffin.
Talking. Oh yeah, he sees the coffin. It's stupid.
And he goes,
I'm into countercultures.
He goes, do you crawl in there and bang? And he's like, sometimes. It's like,
Oh yeah, he shows him all these drugs. Like, I'll give you drugs, and he's like, fuck yeah, and he does a bunch of coke. Cocaine's a fun boy's drug. I'm not fun. He does his like southern drawl thing that's super cringy.
Yeah, and
He
they tried
snorts
so
smoke
hard
cocaine.
to make him like look like reenact that Brad Pitt scene from the movie, standing in front of the window while he's sitting at the table.
Yeah, but it's stupid because it's like, I'll give you drugs. Like, no, sorry. And then
They have Daniel throw himself at him.
yeah, he's like, you gave me drugs, so now we gotta fuck.
But Daniel,
like,
old Daniel's like this macho, grumpy dude who's like been divorced. He's like got an estranged family, relationship with his kids, and they turn him into this fucking fuckboy.
yeah, he fucked. Like, they even say like, oh, I fuck for drugs. Like, that's what I do. I wander around, San Francisco, giving anal sex in exchange for cocaine. Like, that's just what I do. It's like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from? Hot gays, am I
It's
right?
basically
Exactly.
It's basically two different people.
It's so weird and out of nowhere because it's like he doesn't even look like a junkie, like he doesn't look like he's strung out. He's just like fulfilling my side of the social contract. Like, what? What are you talking about? It's the 70s. And then he's like, so did we fuck? And they're just like, no. And they're like, oh, thank God. And then Danny's like, I really thought we did. Like, no. Yeah, and then he's a real estate mogul now. He's been everything. He can do any business, from pimping to real estate to drugs to theater. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Yeah. Let's see. What is that?
He tells him that he's a vampire, and he's like,
well, first they made a joke about how like his worth is miscalculated because of his hue, so they make it about race again. And then he tells him, I'm a vampire, and then he says, "Are you the Zodiac killer?"
Well, first he's like, I'd like to know why you think that, and then he like does a like really fast, like he like comes at him really fast.
I'm a vampire. Okay. Yeah, I'm really interested to know why you believe that. Ah, are those fangs? And it's so cringy. Like, okay.
I mean, I'm really interested.
And come on, do the thing.
Do that.
Do the fangs. Ah! It's the and like, and he makes like a hissing noise. It's so terrible. Oh yeah, there's a wonderful view of.
Is there a point to all the gay? I mean, is it important to the
No.
story? No, not at all. It's not important to the story whatsoever, except for the fact that they wanted to be there.
And so I don't get it. Is there a plot, and is it going anywhere? There's almost a plot. It really wants to be one.
I mean, the plot is to deconstruct Anne Rice. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. I like how modern showrunners say there isn't enough time to adapt a book properly into a TV show, then spend 2 whole episodes of completely made up shit. Yeah, none of this literally ever happens. None of this.
Yeah.
Like, unless you say, oh yes, he does say, I am a vampire, and he does spook him by moving fast. But like, that's it. And her vampires don't do this. They don't need to, and they don't hiss. Like friggin' snakes.
And why does he always do that thing with his tongue when he does it too? He like pushes his tongue against the teeth. It's the weirdest thing.
It's like, we know that they're there. Okay. And they come out of their little sheaths when her vampires always have their fangs.
That's right, Chris.
In fact,
it's always about the reimagining.
Yeah. They even make a point, or she even makes a point in the book to mention that Lestat's fangs are small. Like they're small for a vampire. And he's an early riser for a vampire. Like those are quirks that he is given. So he's scared now. He's like peeing. And he does some more drugs. He puts some cocaine around his gums and smokes some probably like laced cigarette with something, and he's like, "Don't be afraid." And then they start their interview. He was 33, blah blah blah. And then they talk about what they remember. It felt good. He has questions. Why did you talk to me? Blah blah blah. I thought it was both stupid and funny, by the way, that he asks if he's the Zodiac killer. But whatever. That's beside the point. Yeah. Oh, and he says he had a copy saved in the cloud of the interview because in the first one they set the tapes on fire. But he's like, I had a copy saved in the cloud, and it's like, I really hate how they constantly reference now terms. It's annoying.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they do that because it's the prop teeth you buy on Temu.
Yeah, I mean that was obviously an excuse to because he got the files from the Talamasca. They must have found the tape somehow and copied them.
He's covering because he doesn't want to reveal that the Talamasca have spoken to him. My guess is they're probably gonna, in season 3, they're gonna be like, "How come you didn't tell us the Talamasca was talking to you?" Because season 3 is more about Lester. And they're probably going to work in Tale of the Body Thief, given the fact that they mention the guy, or they introduce Raglan James, who is the body thief.
Yeah, as a Talamascan. So it makes me wonder if
he was a Talamascan.
Was he?
Yes. I double-checked last time.
Yeah.
I got my alphabetary on hand. Yeah, so they talk, they play, blah, blah. He's talking about Lester. And the thing about how he speaks is, it's like he's two different people. Because sometimes he's doing that, like, dirty Southern New Orleans thing. But then the rest of the time, he's got that, like, very Brad Pitt, like, gentlemanly, poetic language. And it's sad because you can tell that one part of this character was written by a superior writer, and the other part of it was written by a fucking degenerate who can't write for shit. Like, whoever wrote all of these episodes, fuck you, you're a shitty writer, stop.
And they have him porn. They have him acting like he's all fucked up.
Yeah, because these vampires can do drugs. He's an addict. Like later on, it's basically revealed that he's an addict.
And he's talking all this shit about Lester and this, that, and the other thing.
And he also says, "Let it bleach my bones," and I was like, "Huh, weird." He's supposed to be as white as bleached bone. I feel like that very personally is an attack on my memory of page 2. Page 2. Whatever. He talks a bunch of shit on Lester. Blah, blah, blah. That he was a moron. Where is it? He says, "Give me the gift. fried Coke and lewds. They talk about Claudiqua. He does that face where he's pooping again. He talks about how he wants to die and stuff. It was stupid.
Yeah, and then he lectures him. He's like, why would you want... And he's like, obviously you didn't do it, but why would you want to kill yourself? We have to live through cancer and this and that, and you had your ticket out and you wanted to give it up.
Yeah. And then I noticed that the only thing keeping the sun out is just straight up like taped on newspaper.
Yeah.
And it's like in the first season, they made this whole thing about like, oh, there's new technology in Windows now that make it so we can be awake. And it's like, oh, is the technology just newspapers? You fucks? Like, Jesus. Yeah, he says you don't know the meaning of your own story. Claudique was dead. Like, I can see where it's going. I won't waste it. You could use me. I'll be your Lestat, your Claudia, but better. And then he's like, this is, after all I've told you, like, yeah, there it is. You don't know the meaning of your own story. I overreact. He attacks him for the sheer number of times I said, and then what, blah, blah, blah. They keep listening. And he plays the enhanced version that the
of the attack, yeah.
Yeah, that the Talamasca made.
And the irregular version, the TV's drowning it out mostly, so they basically cut away the TV so they could hear more of the attack on that Louis did to Daniel, yeah.
And they say it's like Armand saving him. He hesitates. Yeah, there it is. A copy saved in the cloud. Betty Hunt drowning it out. His researcher, assistant, cleaned it up a bit. There's growling. He eats. That's a funny shot. Almond gets in there and he's like fucking almost about to die after being attacked. Almond is mad. And he's like, you've been here for so long. It's morning. Look at him. He's just standing in the sunlight. Nothing happens to him. It's fine. Nothing matters. And then he's like, you make the mess and I clean it up. Cause you ran away. Like, he runs away all the time. Like, to fuck lowlives and degenerates. And they have this stupid fight. And then Louis says he's boring. They have a gay fight. Boring, dull as fuck. Like, stuff that Louis would never say to Armand.
Oh, yeah, and then they insinuate that he's even more fucked up because he's all fucked up on the blood. You know, because he's like, you're intoxicated on the blood that you the drug-rattled blood that you stuffed him with.
Yeah.
So they insinuate he's even more intoxicated because he drank the blood of Daniel, who did all the coke.
Yeah. They are windows with extra UV protection. They are called Windows XP. Allie, you don't know the meaning of your own story. Yes. Tia probably did fall asleep. How was Guar? Pay no attention to the newspaper. The man behind the newspaper. They just got done playing Slaughterama when Allie rushed the stage and they canceled the rest of the show. Yeah, because I poured water all over him. Yeah, they have a gay fight, blah, blah, blah. It's really stupid and gay.
Yeah, he says, 10 hours with the boy was more fulfilling than 10 decades.
Yeah. They continue fighting My brother tossed himself off a roof. Vampires murdered my daddy. My daughter was my sister. Was my throw pillow. Like, it's all terrible.
Yeah, it was a reference to Claudia.
Yeah. And it's just an excuse to talk about Lester. Like, boring Paris. Blah, blah, blah. Like, literally just a gay fight. And you and I were kind of watching this, like, what is this?
Yeah, it was
and
retarded.
Louis clearly doesn't remember any of this. Obviously, Danny has listened to it a couple times by now, and he's like, how come we don't remember this?
Right, and he's piecing, things together. He's like
Yeah.
leading Lewis to remember. He's like, the first door is you running out of the room. He's like, but then if you listen in the distance, there's a metal door slam. And he's like, insinuating you went outside.
Yeah, there was another thing, and he's like, I don't remember. Armand calls your name, and then they're screaming. And then a few more seconds, and the 2 doors slam again, and they're like another thing. And what happened is, Lewis tries to die from bad CGI.
The worst CGI ever.
Like, this is it. Amazing. This is like The Mummy.
This is like 1998 CGI right here.
Yeah. How the fuck does a microphone on a 70s tape recorder pick up the door from the roof? They push the enhance button. The writer climbed the highest peak of Dick Mountain just to slide down the other side ass first. How gay is the writer who wrote this? That's how gay, yeah. Yeah, you can't take me anywhere. I just pour water on everything. That's my job. She can't go to the 311 shows anymore. The lead singer has a restraining order. Yep. And he doesn't drink water anymore. But yeah, he tries to kill himself using bad CGI. It's terrible. Like, what is his chin like went bloop? Like, it's not good. It looks real bad. But he screams because the bad CGI hurts a lot. So now he's remembering when he tried to kill himself. And then they're like, here, this is the makeup we have done that is supposed to be burn marks. It's not bad, but it's not great either. And he, like, lays in bed bitching about it. He's like, ow, it hurts. Blah, blah, blah. Then Almond and him continue fighting. In the thing, he keeps saying, put me in my coffin, the same way that, like, Lestat does. They're talking about how Danny's still alive. And then Almond does an X-Men and, like, picks him up with his mind.
And starts throwing him around, yeah.
Yeah. He mocks the tapes. He commandeers his body while talking to Danny. Blah, blah, blah. There's a dead guy.
Yeah, I forget, a neighbor or the maintenance guy.
Yeah, neighbor saw you while he was taking out the trash.
So, yeah.
So he had to die.
He had to kill him.
And the blood is flowing. We're gonna have to fix that before we move and get a new place. There's a TV. There's tarp. He's thinking he's next. He's like, I can't save you. And then Almond is out here and he's like, I'm gonna find out why Lewis is so fascinated by you. And, like, listens to the tape. He starts talking to him. Or he's listening to the tape. He commandeers his body so that he's sitting up. And notice, we have not spent as much time on this episode as the other one because this is all just like boring talking. Boring talking. And he's got him like sitting on nothing.
Yeah, he's got
like, you know when you do a wall sit, except for like there's no wall.
Yeah, he's sitting, but there's nothing underneath him. He's just sitting in thin air, and his legs are cramping up. And
his legs are cramping, even though he's holding him. He says, "Teach me to be fascinating," and then Ullman mentions like slavers in Delhi, and then he says he's an eager black hole. And I was like, "Wow, thank you for like the butt thing." It was just a butt thing. He's like, "Why does Lewis want you?" He's like, "He brought 128 boys here. He said 5. He goes through the tapes and he's like, "Here, who do you talk to?" And blah, 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 blah. Lewis is like, "Stop." And now here's where the flashbacks come in.
The flashbacks that we've been seeing the last few episodes. This is it, yeah. The little fucking teaser.
Says, "Fuck your boyfriend." And he goes into like a trance. He says all these stupid stories about when he was a kid. And even his transgressions are ordinary. Like, why do you like him? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's like, "I have a Charlie horse. I'm cramping. It hurts." Talking about his memories. Blah, blah, blah. He talks about how he interviewed the KGB. He watches Spiro Agnew on television.
Right, yeah. Hold on, because you're just kind of like clicking through right now. So like, all this stuff doesn't matter. But when you get to here, Daniel realizes he wasn't
what day it is.
He wasn't just there for 10 hours. He was there for 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he can figure out like what day it was. And so that's how he figures out how long he was there. Back to their stupid library with the stupid weird tree and the dumb sand. 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Your boyfriend was in a trance of some sort. Blah, blah, blah. Go back. He puts him in the coffin. Armand, can you come?
So now Daniel's trying to like piece together some pieces.
Yeah, the pain is back. Armand, put me in the coffin, and he puts him in. It's super cringe. Oh, and he gives him his own blood so that he can get better faster. He's like annoyed that he talked about him.
Yeah, he was. So Armand was jealous because he knew that all Louis did was talk about Lestat the whole time.
So yeah, and then he says he lied on purpose to get Lestat's attention. Because he wants Lestat back. So he's like, "Oh, I told all these lies in this interview to get Lestat's attention because he'll hear me."
Well, no. Yeah, he said, he's like, "What do you think? Lestat's gonna walk by a bookstore and read it and da 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 da," which is them knowing that Lestat is alive still, which they shouldn't.
Which they should not know.
They shouldn't even know that Lestat is alive at all. So for Armand to be like jealous that way and come up with this cockamamie story, like, "Oh, you're embellishing the story so Lestat can read it and get mad and come find you."
Yeah, and that's not what happened in the book either. Like, Louis literally told his story as he saw it, which there was a lot of things that Louis didn't understand about Lestat, which is why he came off as a villain in Interview with the Vampire. But in this one, it's like, oh, you just told a bunch of lies because you hoped that he would see it. When during this time, Lestat was asleep. Like, in the books, he was asleep.
Yeah.
But they don't know he's even alive. He's mocking him. If you wanted to escape, all you had to do was ask.
Well, this is where he, Lestat, Armand reaches out to Lestat telepathically to have a conversation.
To talk to Louis through him.
Right. And it was super gay and cringy. And then Lestat's like, tell him I love him, Armand. Tell him I love him. And he won't say it.
Yeah, he doesn't say it. Yeah, telepathically. Lestat. Yes, I'm here. He's waiting for you. He's injured himself. Blah, blah, blah. It's really super gay and cringy.
Yeah.
And he has to do it because makers and fledglings can't hear each other's thoughts. It's really stupid. Tell him I love him. Louis, no! No! Blah, blah, blah. Then Almond says rest. He said that to me too. And that's when he spent his time hypnotizing the two of them. Like, rest. To change their memories of it. Even though, why would he do that with Daniel? He could just fucking kill him. He tells him his future or something.
I don't know if he was actually seeing his future, but...
Well, he's like telling him, this is what your life will be, blah, blah, blah.
Right, I think he's just like mocking him.
Yeah. He hugs him. He drinks from him, and he says, I deserve to eat him.
Yeah, he goes to kill him, but Louis stops him, yeah.
He's like, no, this one has to lie, or live, like, because it means that you love me if you let him live. And Almond's like, fine. I don't know why he calls him Arun.
Because I think that's supposed to be his real name.
What?
When they were looking at the painting, I think Armand mentions that his real name is Arun, but he barely remembers it.
Okay, well, that's also not true. His real name was Amadeo.
Right.
Like, fine. They have to make him from Delhi. So it's Aaron now. Fucking Indian Aaron Carter over there. He's like, you'll be okay. And they're looking at each other like, wow, we forgot this for 40 years or whatever. Crazy. And that they fed him drugs to mess with his mind. And then he reads something from another book of his that are things that they put into his, like, hypnotized mind to make him feel better. That, like, you're a reporter with a point of view. Blah, blah, blah. It's all gay. And then they say, oh yeah, that's what we did. Like, we scrambled your brain so you thought you were in a drug den for 10 days. And they're all, like, sad together about it. And then Almond is back, and they're looking at him like, what the? Look at this lamp. What is this? Pink monstrosity. You see that?
Yep.
And I run so far away. Very nice. Almond is like Jan Brady, but instead of Marsha, it's Lester. Exactly. So are they trying to set up a future couple with Louis and old Daniel? I mean,
You never know in this show.
yeah, you never know. You kind of know, but you also don't. They're hypnotizing the audience to rest. Yeah, they're like, stop thinking.
So then, yeah, Armand comes back and they question why he would let Daniel live, and then Armand says exactly what Louis said earlier.
They are very judgy and complainy. They probably all consider each other bitchy and pronounce it betchy. Biatchy. Ew. Slavers in Delhi. That's in Midtown, I think. He didn't even want me in the end, so in the mouth. Yeah, it's blah, blah, blah. Pathetic. Look at his gay limping hand. Speaking of gay, hell. Comics mate. Still vamping! This episode is quite short, so we're almost done. Snafu. Yeah, so they're confronting Almond now with his gay-ass sunglasses.
Oh god, I forgot about those sunglasses. That's like something out of the 80s. What the fuck?
But it's 2024. And how is he outside? Like, are these magic sunglasses that, like, protect you from the literal sun?
No, remember they said he can stand in the sun because he's ancient.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Even though he can't. It's like, how's Paris? What are you guys talking about? And then they're like, he asked why you saved him. And this is when he starts saying the same thing Louis said. I preserve your happiness, even when you don't or can't. And they're like, he does the poopy face again with the flaring nostrils. And he says it all.
Yeah, he says, and I thought, you know, he had a hunch that he would be useful to you later. So basically implying that that thought that Louis said earlier in the beginning of the episode was implanted by Armand.
This looks like a green screen almost. Like, just because it's so weird. And that's where it ended with him, like, looking at him weird.
All constipated, yeah.
Yeah. And, that was probably more... Oh! It didn't do it on there, but on the actual AMC website thing, it literally ends with a thing that is
for
a
suicide.
card for the suicide prevention hotline.
If you or someone you care about is thinking about contemplating suicide, please don't hesitate to seek help and call blah 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 for a vampire show.
Yeah, because he went into the sun and they were like, oh, that could be bad, so nobody go try and do that.
Like, if this was an episode of 21 Jump Street, yeah, I get it. Some kid tries to, like, OD on pills. You do the little thing because you're like, this is a very serious episode of 21 Jump Street this week.
They did that in 21 Jump Street, too.
I know, because I joking around in school, like, so I was, like, in 6th grade, and, like, there was, like, this 8th grade girl. We were, like, all in the school play, and like, she started dating this other guy, and I was joking around. Well, I was, like, kidding, but, like, I was like, that's it, I'm killing myself. You broke my heart. She went to the teacher and said that I was really going to kill myself. Mind you, I went to a fucking birthday party afterwards. Like, we're all hanging out at a birthday party. They called my grandparents. My grandparents had to find out where this kid's house was, came and picked me up, brought me home, had this long talk with me. I'm like, I'm fine, guys. It was a joke, right? That night was that's why I brought up the 21 Jump Street episode, because that night was the night that the suicide episode aired, ironically. Wow. And they made me come down and watch it and sit there and watch it. Yeah.
They're just like, AJ Ill, don't do it.
Oh, God. I couldn't believe they had that at the end of this episode, though. I was like, it's a fucking fictional vampires TV show. What are you talking about, suicide?
Yeah. But they had, domestic violence warnings in the first season, so like why not?
I do remember that now. Yeah. Yeah, Chris.
Like, if you're in a relationship that is domestic violence, call this hotline, and it's like, oh my god.
Chris, that's so gay. I mean, it was, I guess you could say my grandparents. They couldn't take any chances. You know what I mean? Like I could, for all they knew, I literally tried to kill myself, and I was just trying to play it off as a joke. But like, my grandfather kind of knew. Like, an hour or two after I was home, my grandfather even said, "Sorry, we came and embarrassed you at the party." Yeah, I think he knew.
You're like, now I do want to die.
Well, they didn't say why. They just said that I needed to go home, and which made it even more weird, like, because they wouldn't even say why.
You're like, did my dog die? Like, what the fuck?
I think my grandfather, like, by that time, like, knew, like, I was just being a stupid 12-year-old kid. Yeah. Yeah. And my grandmother, my grandmother was like, whatever. Thank God my mom worked as a waitress at the time and was like working all day, because if she was home, it would have been even worse. Her and my grandmother together would have been,
Sure. Rumble said, Dean, it's not gay. It's powerful and mysterious. I can't finish that comment with conviction. He's the gayest there is, the gayest there was, and the gayest there ever will be. Yep, he flares his nostrils. I'm constipated. Tense musical note. The gayest of the gay. Dean, yes, this show makes me want to kill myself. People would be contemplating it after watching that show. If you are contemplating suicide, immediately stop watching this show.
Exactly.
Like Different Strokes. The show is not the worst thing I have seen on YouTube. Dean's Pizza Tree movie. Dean's Pizza Tree movie is fine. You guys are weird. They did have a special episode too on Different Strokes, but that's a different kind of special.
Yeah.
Dean's movie had its moments. Admittedly, the moments were just, hey, I recognize that dude. So gay. Dark Gift reenacting him saying he was going to kill him, Slef, was a spot-on impersonation of Almond crying about Lester. That's true. Good job.
Wasn't even
trying. They did mean well. The closest DG came to suicide was considering raw-dogging Jukebox Jenny. Wow. I don't even want to know what that means. Not everyone is used to domestic violence like you, DG. Anthony, stop being a twat, Grandpa. Oh my god. Chad's going hard on you.
I was basically, he wouldn't have said twat. My grandfather, I don't think I ever heard that man curse. Wow. I'm sure he did in his younger days, but he was more like I said, he apologized for, and then he was like, so if I remember his exact words were like, he's like, listen here, pal. Sorry, we had to come and get you and embarrass you at the party. He's like, but you were being a meathead and we didn't know what to think, so we had to come and get you. And I was like, no, and he was like, it's all right. He's like, just stay away from your grandmother for a little bit. She's going to be, a worry ward all night. And I was like, no, I hear you. I'll just stay up here and read comics. And I did until all of a sudden I hear my grandmother, Anthony, come down here. Oh, fuck, what now?
You're like, great, now I gotta watch Johnny Depp for 45 minutes.
Listen, I didn't mind 21 Jump Street. Like, I watched it. I mean, I didn't watch it religiously, but, like, it just happened to be that night. She goes, we're gonna watch TV together. I'm like, who? She's like, all of us. It was like me, my grandparents, and my sister. Again, my mom was at work. And she's like, that. I was like, we're going to eat dinner in the living room? We never ate dinner in the living room, Right. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, all right. So we sit down and she's like, Billy, put on 21 Jump Street. When does grandma ask to watch 21 Jump Street? like that's something like we just happen to watch, you know what I mean? Like, why is she asking for it? And then all of a sudden, it comes on, They do, not only did they used to do the disclaimer at the end, they used to do the, trigger warning, but before it was called the trigger warning, and it was like,
yeah, I think in that episode, don't they have like the Judy and Tommy like talking about it, like, oh, isn't it sad when teenagers have problems? And they're like, yeah, but they should know that they can go get help, like, because they did that sometimes.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, it was like, tonight's a very special episode of 21 Jump Street. Certain, blah, blah, blah. It's very delicate, young children, blah, 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 blah. And then I forget, they mentioned something about, like, suicide or whatever. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, oh, no. And then here comes my grandmother with dinner and the fucking little, the little folding TV table tray.
You learned a valuable lesson that day, that next time you feel like doing it, just don't tell anybody.
And I was like, and I looked at my grandfather, and my grandfather looked at me.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I'll continue the story for you guys. So I look at my grandfather. My grandfather looks at me, and he just kind of went like you did this to all of us, pal. We're all suffering because of you. But then even like as we're watching it, my grandmother would make a little comment here, and he goes, her name was Edna, and he always called her Ed. He'd be like, Ed, leave the boy alone. Just eat your dinner and watch the TV. The closest thing to a follow-up was Little Bigfoot 2. It stars the even less famous of the three Home Improvement brothers and the son from Roseanne. DG's grandparents are the most New Jerseyest people to ever exist. Actually, they were from Brooklyn. They were definitely more. Think Archie Bunker and Edith, but my grandmother wasn't as ditzy as Edith. My grandmother's actually a pretty fucking smart woman. But yeah, just picture them. Christelli, Anthony got schooled on not committing suicide that day. It's not even like I was gonna even think about it. Dude, I was just, when you're you're 12 and you're just stupid and like, you're just like, that's it. I took a watch, the bar that goes in the hole of the wristband of the watch, and I was like, I'm gonna cut my wrist with it. And I don't know if the girl thought I was serious or just said, fuck this kid. I'm gonna go, I don't know. Citizen Ronan, are you 100% Italian? No, I'm half Italian, half Irish. My grandparents that I'm talking about are the Irish side. Tia says, hey, Allie, I'm still here. Also, ugh, they took from Merrick and put into here. Yeah, they did. Probably made a great marinara. Actually, my grandmother, it's funny. She couldn't cook worth it. My Irish grandmother, the one I'm talking about, couldn't really cook worth a shit, but she made a killer meatloaf, and she did make a good marinara for a non-Italian. Like, it was fucking unreal. I think the reason why I shouldn't say she couldn't cook worth it, because she made a good Thanksgiving turkey. I think she could cook, but my grandfather was just he was so bland. Like, he ate his steaks well done, like shoe leather well done. He was literally what the epitome of steak and potato, steak and potato guy. He ate a steak and potatoes, and that's it. They ate they loved liver. Fucking Thursdays was liver night. It was the worst night of the week. We'd all eat salad. He had literally 2 pieces of leaf lettuce and tomato and salt and pepper. Yeah, he was like a very bland, straightforward kind of guy. But he'd get creative. He was a master on the grill. He could cook anything on the grill. And late at night, if there was leftover spaghetti or linguine or whatever in the fridge, he would take that up, fry it up in a pan with some butter and make it all take sliced potatoes, fry it up, and make potato sandwiches, like shit like that, like crazy, like late night food. He would make he would make for me and him. It was I guess that was like what you did back in like post depression era when you were poor, you know. Yeah, I like my steak medium. I actually like my steak, like, you know, a little pink on the inside. You know what I mean? Like, not like shoe leather. Although, in my younger years, I would eat it well done because that's how he ate it. I thought that's how everybody ate steak. Oh, that's not how you eat a steak? Potato sandwiches. He sounds Irish as fuck. Yeah, dude, like fry them up like you would like old school potato chips, but like a little bit thicker than a potato chip. But they were sliced like a potato chip, but they were thicker. Fry them up, throw them on some bread with a little bit of salt, pepper, and butter. Yeah. God, I miss that man. That man was awesome. God, he's been dead 20 years. Holy shit. Gonna need to see receipts? I eat my steaks, motherfuckers. Don't listen to the Pac, that duck boy Pac.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry, there was a minor emergency.
No problem.
Cool. Well, let's see. Anything interesting happen in the chat while I was gone?
No, we were just talking about my grandfather.
Okay, Irish receipts. I hear Jukebox Jenny is pink in the middle, yet still tough as shoe leather.
She might be DED at this point after what happened that night.
Wow. Well, oh, is that the chick that like said her husband was dead?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we already know what happens in the next episode. Sometime soon we'll watch the episode after that, which is, I believe, episode 7. And the next stream will be going over episode 6 and 7. In some, what just happened was a lot of stuff that didn't happen in the books, and a lot of it was gay, quite gay, and a bunch of it was kind of gross, and a good bit of it was dumb.
Yeah.
And it's all quite offensive to a fan, and no one should take it standing up, sitting down, on your knees, or otherwise. Boredom happens in the next episode, and yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure it's fair if we make predictions, but and I'm not sure when we'll do the next streams. But we will let everyone know when it is happening. And also, thank you very much for putting up with this with us. And that guy does not look like Brad Pitt, fucking or otherwise. Exactly. The funny thing about the next episode is that it's almost like the whole fight didn't happen, and they do the interview and just go on. Yeah, exactly. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's almost like somebody wanted to write a book or wanted to write a movie where a guy kidnaps another, or a vampire kills another guy, and there's a whole thing in an apartment, and they were like, this will never be made into a movie, so I'll just like shoehorn it into Interview with the Vampire, and they'll have to make it. Oh wow, thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. Badass super sticker. Chris is the goat tonight. Very kind of you. Hail, indeed. Clapping, indeed. Thanks for watching it so I don't have to. You are super welcome. Go back the Embrace 2 again. Make Dean's Australian dreams come true. He's definitely leveled up between the first one and this one.
Well, if you've seen his pencil work from Lightbringer 2, he definitely is leveled up. Yeah.
Yeah, the art is sick. Totally wicked. I backed it even. So, yeah.
Also go back, Damn Dirty Thing. We're gonna be fulfilling in the next, like, I would say next 3 weeks or so.
Nice. Fulfillment is good. That was fun. I haven't been in your chat in a while. Thanks. I'm glad that it's fun. That's what I aim for. Fulfillment is good. It's a big deal. You should fulfill. Oh, Perth got the Haunted Edition. That looks sick. Like, they all look really good. Somebody go buy the stuffies so that poor Odin can stop, like, seeing them. I think he's got 16 more Embrace stuffies just, like, laying around. Yeah, and keep an eye out. I've got a bunch of cool stuff coming out from my books as well that I'm kind of putting together right now, but it's all coming out. So anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out and watching us totally friggin' pwn all these idiots. And now it is time. Just walk away. Thanks, Frega. Very nice of you to tell us that we can leave. Super cool. I'm looking for something. That's why I'm stalling. But I can't find it. Where did it go? Oh, no. Why can't I find it?
I don't know what she's looking for, chat.
No one knows. Here it is. And this is the moral of the story. Good night.
How many MCs are coming out real? Like you been to hold me, I'ma check my feel. You claim to be a genius, man, you can't fight it. You might flip a script, but you know you didn't write it. I'm coming up at you really old school like Houdini. The ibbity-bibbity bop, I boom boom like Mancini. Feed me, hip-hop, exotic like Kiwi. I got more power than the Rangers on the TV. Jumping on the track, spinning to it, then I dismount. My styles are more free than the 5-finger discount. Lift me in your mind and pass me the brain shovel. I'm thinking, baby, all my mentals into your level with the boom boom, bitty-bitty bop to the bang. If you swing your thing with the gang, you can hang. Come and ride with me and the nocturnal crew. To the old school for the deja vu. I whip a track in half with more jazz in Utah. Deeper like a tuba, dive into it like a scuba. After my style change, gang will remain. Rhyming to the day I need Big Daddy's cane. I'm sick of New Jacks trying to compete. I go put on my Pumas and watch Beat Street. But I'ma let them know cause my soul's full of mischief. Even your moms will say, damn, the kid's sweet. A lot of rappers coming out harder than rugby.